Yes, people, good morning and welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome to another match review show on Chelsea Perspective, specifically the Blue Morning Show. But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. But once again, Blue Morning to you because, in fact, it is the Blue Morning Show. Today, you know why we're here. It's a 0-0 draw. Again, Brentford at home versus Chelsea Football Club, a London derby at that. The end at zeros, and then we can't just say, okay, it's seven unbeaten. Yeah, there are issues we have to talk about. Unfortunately, if we don't do that again, or if the manager doesn't do that, then we risk again a serious situation where we'll be battered by even mid-table team. But that's, by the way, sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Roger, good morning to you, brother. How are you doing, man?
I'm splendid. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am a splendid. Again, we're here. You watched the show yourself, again, the game yourself. I'm sure you wouldn't miss a second from it, and you had to run out to go enjoy your food while I was
I'm so
hungry
sorry.
and alone on the panel. But that's, by the way, brother. Again, it's all good. Again, we'll be lying to ourselves if we say, yeah, it was all rosy. It wasn't. They could have gone 2 goals before we even got a shot, chance to shoot at their goalpost. Again, just your overall thoughts on the game before we deep dive into it. But before you start, please let me not forget, as it is the tradition here on Chelsea Perspective, we have to say hello to those in the chat already because it's, again, we're family here. And Liam Lane, I'd be surprised if you're not the first here. Blue morning, Kochi, and a partner, blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Again, please like, subscribe when you enter. Again, if you have not, actually helps the channel to reach a wider audience. We have just 6 likes right now. We should be doing better than that. Yes, please like and subscribe, people. So disappointed with our attack. I'm so disappointed too. If you pay attention, if you rewatch the game, our defense, but maybe the issue with the defense also comes down to the poor, again, the midfield inability of the midfield to protect the defense. No matter how we see it, even if again, what's his name? Graham Potter likes to play with our traditional DMs. I think he should start looking at one. Otherwise, we're in serious trouble. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too, Chama Yosef. I hope you're doing well. Please, again, do let us know. Again, I am disappointed too. We even are playing with United this weekend. Yep. Again, if you don't put away your chances, if they get half a chance, it becomes a goal. That's we need to talk about it really. Kachila, my first time here at this time of hour. I did. It's again. Here's the thing. It's difficult to tell when again whether you've been here during the Blue Morning Show or not. Why? Because I've always seen you, but not paying attention to when exactly have I seen you on the shows here. But again, welcome. Always nice to see you. Santiago Munoz says again, a morning, Coachella, and a chat morning to you too, Santiago Munoz. I hope you're doing well. Again, anything else? Anything else here? Okay, you go with it. Again, as you're coming in, please be sure to like this the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, if you're watching, even if you're not in the chat, please do take a second to drop a like on the video. It does go a long way. So again, Roger, your thoughts on the overall performance yesterday. Again, your takeaways overall before we deep dive into talking about individual players and all that.
I was impressed with Kovacic's hat trick. It was amazing. No, obviously that didn't happen. I don't know. I thought there were improvements.
And just quickly, if you're in the chat, also do let us know what stood out for you during that game. What you learned, the things you think we should talk about, and then you can use the question and answer tab. Go ahead. Sorry, bro.
No, not at all. I think there were improvements over the Villa game. Obviously, I'm going to start with the keeper. I thought he was outstanding. Not, defensively, collectively, I'm talking about the whole back line also. I thought they did well for the most part.
Mhm.
Could we have conceded? Yes, quite easily. But Kepa was, he's looking good. He's doing well. And for the line, for the most part, I think did well. We're not playing a powerhouse team, but that is a very hard place to go. And it's West London rivals, as we talked about previously yesterday. It's not easy.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like people talk about it enough, probably because of the size of, no disrespect to them, Brentford. If it was like Arsenal or Tottenham.
But it's immaterial because you have like places like QPR that have played us. I've seen QPR the week before. Can't remember. They basically down tools versus. In fact, they were getting relegated. But when they played us a few years ago, they beat us or they drew us. I can't recall. And they played us like they were Real Madrid. Teams get up for us, London teams, especially West London, Fulham, QPR, Brentford. These are big rivalries that go back over a century. So people need to understand that don't come from London, that like are overseas. These are very big, geographical rivals for us. It's our turf. That's why. So it doesn't matter. Like if we played them in an FA Cup, they would still get up for us. If they were fourth division, does that make sense? Or second division technically now.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, I thought we did well in some regards, and we could have improved in others. It was still an improvement based on 3 days ago.
Yeah, the overall play, especially in the second half, we did better. But I'm so concerned at the rate at which the past two teams we played against, they got at our defense. Again, you can say our defense, we were everywhere. Yes, things changed in the second half, but the defense, again, it does, the performance of the defense, it didn't differ that much from what we saw against Aston Villa. Aspilicueta mistiming his jump. We were lucky. Again, Kepa, yes, credit to Kepa, no matter how you say it. Again, who was that? Was it Ivan Toney? He nodded it straight down the goalpost, not to the left or to the right. It would have been much more difficult for Kepa to start. The other one, again, was just mistiming. We were everywhere. It looks like we lacked a proper communication. I don't know if that's down to the absence of Thiago Silva, who usually leads the back line. But again, if you watch that game again, we lacked coordination and proper communication at the back line, and we were lucky not to have considered. But yes, I get the argument that the whole thing comes from not having a defined defensive midfielder. Again, in the central area, again in the midfield area, just two traditional CMs, if you ask me.
But there's a multitude of reasons, Coach. Listen, we're missing players. That's no excuse because injuries is part of the game, as the saying goes. But then you're playing people. Listen, this was only his 7th game, I believe, in charge. So it takes time. And your check, like the back line does take time, just like the offensive line in NFL football. That's the area that takes the most to quote unquote gel. And it's the same for in football, soccer. The back line defensively takes time to gel a bit.
Yeah, and that's you being inclusive by calling it soccer.
Yeah, exactly. But
Go ahead.
Smack. You're killing me. So you have to take that in consideration. It's early on. We've got injuries all over the pitch, actually, and then we're playing people that haven't played together much. So all that these are not excuses. These are observations. These are facts. So this needs to be taken into account. Plus, we're playing not at home, so it's harder also. So there's a multitude of reasons that can be explained as to why we're not gelling yet, whether it be going forward or defensively. That's all I have to say. And these are acceptable reasons.
Yeah, let's talk about this before we actually
too pragmatic.
Here's the thing. Here's what I want to say. Really, these are nearly the same players that played against Wolves. Defensively, we were brilliant against Wolves. In the midfield, we were again attacking wise. we created more chances than we did yesterday. I think maybe the structure may have been the issue.
Yeah,
I'm
back
not sure.
three.
The back three structure may have been the issue.
I thought it was
Maybe,
going to be a back four. I really was.
yeah,
I looked at the thing and I'm thinking that's a back four. It's going to be a 4-2-3-1.
yeah. But maybe it looked as if again it was still a hybrid again application in
It
terms
was
of back
mostly
three,
three.
back four, depending. Yeah, but again, Chalobah starting essentially was very odd for me. Maybe again he tried to make the most of Koulibaly's ability to bump forward, orchestrate those long passes, carpet passes again, and he did it quite well yesterday, and it was delicious to watch. What do you think? What's the difference? Except, yeah, one again, Kai Havertz starting, and plus again, Gallagher going off again. He felt ill. We were told.
Yeah, it was quote unquote sick. Yes.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, exactly. So, but it didn't differ that much really. So probably the issue was Chalobah started centrally. Who started centrally in the game against Wolves? It was Koulibaly, wasn't he? And
Well,
again,
it was against Wolves. Hold on, wasn't that a 4-2-3-1? So
yeah, it was. Yeah, the structure was different, and Koulibaly started centrally with Chalobah. But
yeah,
as much as Chalobah did as good as he did yesterday, the truth remains we were confused. There were confusion, yes, but the confusion that's that I'm talking about right now isn't easy to again to see when we're with the ball. Because we could just pass it around, it looks good, and we'll move forward, find spaces. But when we're defending, if you pay attention, we were everywhere. It was horrible. We were lucky not to have considered in the first 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm thinking the difference between the two games is Chalobah started centrally. I don't think he has enough experience enough to lead central. I'd rather ask Azpilicueta to do that as much as I know, even though I know he's not capable of doing that. Koulibaly is a better equipped player to do that in the absence of Thiago Silva. So I don't want Graham Potter at this point. Yeah, just 1 second. I don't want Graham Potter at this point to get, what we've talked about, maybe a false sense of security thinking, Chalobah can actually lead the back line. I don't think he can at this point. We're everywhere, but go ahead.
Sure. No. Valid point. Absolutely. But let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Playing devil's advocate, you put Koulibaly in the centre with, let's say, either Chalobah or Aspi on the right. Who's playing left then?
Cucurella. He's done that before.
Okay. Sure.
And he played very we may need to adjustment to accommodate that system again. Instead, why wasn't he on the bench? I think this is him trying again to make the most of the squad size we have, to utilize them again, rotate players.
Yeah.
But if he didn't see the risk of Chalobah starting centrally, then we have a serious problem, because again, a much efficient team will put that game to bed in under 20 minutes, because they had the chance to do so.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see our vulnerability to the extent that you've seen it.
Yeah, take your time. Here's the easiest. Go ahead.
I would have to review the game again, which I will do today.
Yeah, I think you should. And the easiest way to see it would be to watch Kepa save. That will show you everything you need to see. Find videos. I think I'll try and see if I can find one myself and share it with you. Look at those Kepa saves, because usually it starts from the crosses. Then it show you how our defense were everywhere, literally in all of them. Honestly, we were lucky. Yeah, go ahead.
So one thing I have to note that I didn't mention previously, this is the Villa game. Mm-hmm. One thing that was glaringly obvious actually even the first time I saw it live, was that we were not blocking crosses. They were crossing the ball as if this was a training session.
Yeah, so that's another one. But then again, when the crosses got into the box,
Chilwell did so poorly versus Villa.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't blocking. Yeah, the blocking's in the first place, but the secondary aspect of the whole thing, our defense were in existence. It timed jumping from Azpilicueta, especially. Even Koulibaly, as tall as he is, was confused.
Chilwell also, that when Bailey hit the crossbar in the Villa game, was pathetic. I mean, like he's never seen a ball before in the air. There's a pattern here.
There's a pattern. Exactly.
Maybe these are tired legs. I don't know.
I think. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this again. Maybe you disagree with me. I think it's about again.
Never.
No, you have to. Again, if we always agree, we don't have a show. Here's the thing. I think maybe, again, the confusion is down due to who's leading centrally, lack of proper communication. Sure. Sometimes you can see them bumping into themselves, actually.
Yeah. Also, if you notice, they're not getting tight to the opposing number nines. I've noticed that. They're multiple times in the Villa in this game. Kepa has been called into action because there are forwards that have open headers for the most part. Which is
exactly, and you could say we've been quite unlucky. A few of them have come straight down the goalpost.
Oh, checkmate! Totally agree. With all that's not taking anything away from Kepa's position or anything, but you're right. Another foot or two to the left or the right, and it's impossible to save point blank range. And I don't care which keeper you have historically in the world; they're not going to be able to save a point blank ball going a yard or two to the left or right. It's impossible.
Oh yeah, you have to be as elastic as
no. It doesn't happen, sir. Just doesn't happen because of science. The ball travels.
Yeah, let me quickly catch up with the chat. I'll come back to the panel again. Again, good morning, Choma. I've said hello to you again. It says Connor just felt again sick or so, nothing serious. I should be fine for the weekend. Again, I hope it's not the dreaded C word. Again, Broja missed chances last night. Yes, he did miss chances, but that's common with players at this age. But you could see that he knows what to do. Again, his positioning is excellent. He can also drop deep and participate in the play. Plus, he's quick and never afraid again to take on players. So I think you could argue he played that game with some measure of, not what's the time for it, and I'm not going to say anxiety. A bit nervous. Again, he was a bit nervous, which is only natural. So you can see that again, that from his final decision making. All he needs is just more game time. But I think the approach of easing him in gradually is working. Again, he will grow in confidence. Counter attack was supposed to be a goal. A 3 or 4 counter attack was meant to be a goal. You have all those things. I understand. I'm excited about the next game at the Bridge. And yes, my friend Herbert A. Again, I will do a watch along for that one too. Again, it will be an exciting game to watch. I'm really concerned. Again, as much as I enjoy watching how direct we play on the ground, Porter, again, how more vertical passes rather than safer options like going backwards or sideways. I'm concerned defensively, and a team like Manchester United, if they get a chance, like I said before, half a chance and it's a goal. But maybe again, if he's paying attention, he should know what to do to at least change things up. We don't want teams coming at us like that. The first 15, 20 minutes, it has happened on 2 occasions. Like right now, again, a team like United, they have a good enough quality to put away the chances. And Herbert, more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join us here. Again, everything was good except Havertz. He could be he could have been subbed at halftime and bring in Pulisic. Havertz is slow and lazy. He should up his game or shown the door. Again, it sounds easy, but it's not that simple. I think something seemed off with Tavares in subsequent games, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something I don't know. Let's see what happens. Again, Chelsea United games are always good to watch. Yep, it's always, again, it's no different from a derby. Maybe the rivalry again comes down to the size of the clubs and how many trophies we've won again of late, and after Roman Abramovich took over the club, and how many trophies Manchester United have won since then. Because we were one of the first teams that stopped them from dominating constantly. Again, Pulisic needs to start enough of the excuses that the coach knows how the players are trained. It just doesn't make any sense to me that he didn't start. Again, if you're coming in, do take a second again to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. Coming back to you, let's talk about who started and who didn't start. I did not expect Kai Havertz to start this game, and I wasn't happy he started really. because it seemed as if he needed a rest. Maybe
Sure.
that would have made a huge difference.
Heavy legs. I disagree with the person that wrote that he's well, paraphrasing, he's lazy and slow. He's neither of those things. He's
No, no, I
industrious
think something
and he's
else is
fast.
wrong. Not
Yeah,
those
I'm,
things.
I'm
Yeah.
just I'm just saying though.
Mhm.
I rate Havertz high, not because of the goal, in the Champions League final. I think he's a technical. Um, I like him. He's got so much. Don't forget, he's young. He hasn't even reached his peak yet. Not even close
Mhm.
to it. So I rate him highly. Did he have a poor game? Yes, as does virtually everyone. So yeah, that's it's excuse me. It's valid to critique him, to say he was not on form yesterday. But having said that, he came so close to getting a tap in. That ball was fizzed across the line by Broja very fast. So
I think you can say that's one of the reasons why everybody's on him, really.
yeah,
But
exactly. But that ball is fizzed so fast you can't react fast enough. A little bit slower.
let's get to whether should he have started in the first place.
Probably not. No, I trust me, Sterling shouldn't have started either.
No,
There's quite.
Sterling did start in the other game. But you're talking about the previous game. Sterling shouldn't have started, but in this particular game, should Kai Havertz have started at all? I don't think so.
I would have wanted Pulisic to start. I've said that for a couple of weeks now,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously this is how many games now? Several games that he's come on as a sub and looked really sharp. And I know when you come on as a sub, you have the advantage of your opposing defense having tired legs and you're fresh, etc. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it warrants that he starts. But obviously the coach is either having a rotational plan or he's not seeing something in training. That's the only two logical explanations you can state why Pulisic isn't starting
It just
consistently.
doesn't make any sort of sense, and there's
But
no sort of explanation that
other
someone.
than
Yeah,
the two I just stated, you name me another logical reason.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nothing comes to mind that you could say justifies Christian Pulisic not starting the two previous games.
So do you think he starts? Do you think he starts on Saturday?
I'm not gonna hold my breath on that anymore.
Yeah.
I have to.
What happens if he doesn't start? This is what I'm asking. A follow-on. What happens if he doesn't start, Coach? Then we're going to be pulling our hair out.
No, I will not. But the manager has to. Somebody has to ask him why that is the case. Really, it doesn't. This is especially true if we're really talking about rotating the team.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the team again being rotated so that players can come in fresh, then he's so important at that. Again, it just seemed as if we're not rewarding performance. Even how well he did, how much of a difference Christian Pulisic made when he came on yesterday, shows you he's in better conditions to start in that attacking area than most people who started were. I have to be honest.
Unless he doesn't rate him as a starter.
But that's the problem, which was the same issue under Thomas Tuchel, who didn't really rate him as a starter. I don't know. I hope again. I hope. I always wait to hear again. Journalists ask managers questions regarding a particular player. Whatever the manager says, then gives you quite a lot on the future of the players or how they see the player. Once we heard a Graham Potter speak about, for instance, in the case of Dennis Zakaria, we learned that's not optimistic. Nothing again. It doesn't look bright for him. But in the case of Christian Pulisic, nothing to work with to say, okay, from what Graham Potter said, this is what we're suspecting. But it's all. It's annoying, really. This is not because I'm an American. We just
No, I get it.
We're just being objective here. For instance, again, Raheem Sterling had 3 stinkers in a row, and yet started the next game.
Coach, it's warranted. Pulisic, for what you and I are watching, we're not watching a different game from Potter. For what the objective eye can observe, it looks like that Sterling has been quite poor in form. Let's be fair about that. And when Pulisic has come on, he's looked the better player. He looks the player that is more likely to score or create chances than Sterling. So I believe Pulisic should be starting, just like you, the last several weeks. Let's not shy about it. Be shy about
Yeah,
this. It's
the
so
direct play from him and everything, and again him creating his own chances by himself. Again, like he did just yesterday, he was just unlucky. The
yeah.
shot went straight out the post. Reward him with a start, and believe me, he can do more for us. But go ahead, Roger. Sorry for cutting you off.
No. I think Pulisic is the type of player that needs 3 or 4 consecutive starts. And I'm scared that if he doesn't have, let's say, a game which he starts where he's not as productive, that he'll get yanked and he won't play again the next game, where certain players do need repetition to build their form. So maybe he's that type of player. But I'm agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just don't get it. If he doesn't start this Saturday against United, by the way, I watched their game. We'll talk about that later. Then I'm really befuddled, because then I think it's becoming quite clear that Potter may not view him as a starter, because in October, within 29 days, Chelsea would have played 9 games. And how many has Pulisic started?
Yeah, again, if you're in the chat, just let me know what you think about Christian Pulisic's situation, and I'll try to get to it in a bit. Let me see what else we have in the chat to look at. Again, a lot of the screen I'm trying to use for the match. Again, okay, it just shut down. The browser shut down, but I'm going to open it up later. And this is a brand new system. Pulisic needs to start again. Enough. I've read that one myself. Again, it was surprised as much as you are. What is Havertz's strength? Last season, he was so good again as a false 9. This season, he looks all over the place. Again, here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and this is not me saying he did anything, again, nice. No, he was poor yesterday. As much as I recognize what he brings to the team, he was really, really poor yesterday. But again, other than that, you could say, again, I've always argued that versatility, as much as it makes you, again, indispensable in a particular team, it makes you a good tool in the hands of the manager. It can also be detrimental to your development. And because if the manager, whenever he's short of personnel in any particular area in the team, you're the first that he reaches out to say, hey, come play here for me. So as much as, again, versatility is good, it can be detrimental to a development of a young player, but that's not me making an excuse for him. But my point is, he's played literally everywhere in this particular team. Maybe he needs a bit of consistency in a particular position. Maybe that changes quite a lot. That maybe at that then we will start seeing consistent high level performance from him. But that's why I really want to move on to that. I just don't want to make that the argument today, really, because it could stir up a lot of stuff. Big up Coach Roger. Does Havertz still have long COVID? Was that Javi? I don't think, was that Roger that said that before? I don't think it was Roger.
No.
Did you say anything about that, Roger?
No, I know he suffered from COVID.
But I haven't heard you say anything about him, really.
I doubt very much he has a lot. Listen, I'm not privy to that, but it's possible. But these are finely tuned athletes. I mean, I'm sure that they would get treatment and the best doctors and medicine money can buy. So would it affect his performance? It's possible, I guess, but I don't think that's the issue. I doubt very much.
Yeah, again, we're not. I don't think that's the issue. Something that's just awful. We're not going to try to talk about it here. We're not performance scientists. I don't know how as if that even exists. Again, I've read that one. Again, Learn Fuel says again, do the Chelsea team and manager look like a big club? The name, again, the history and everything says it is. Again, there are bigger clubs though, big clubs that are bigger than Chelsea, but that's not what we're here. I get your question, Roger. In a bit, if you want to talk about that, let me just catch up with what we have in the chat. Liam Lane again, reminding people, please keep liking the stream again and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the support. Again, if he doesn't start Saturday, then I will lose faith in the manager. I'm not going to go to the extent of losing faith to a manager until I hear him speak, because I wouldn't just jump to the conclusion that he's being unfair to Christian Pulisic. I'm sure if that's really the case, we should have seen a tweet or two from his dad, of which I'm still looking. I expected to see one yesterday, but let's say I'll be paid. Like, I won't jump to that conclusion until I hear the manager speak. Pulisic again. I want him to start, but it will be difficult to bench a Sterling or Mount on Saturday. Yeah, two of those players start, but even if those two players start, there's still an opportunity for him somewhere there up front. Maybe as a false nine, he can play there also. He can also play as one of the two again.
I actually don't think Sterling should start.
I don't think he should start again. Yeah, maybe he should come off the bench. He looks better. He looked better when he came off the bench yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he looked better than it's been for a while.
Well,
again, how would it be harder to drop Sterling? He's been awful in the last few games, and the argument may come up. Okay, he was tired, but now again he's better. So yeah, he starts. Honestly, again, if Pulisic don't start against United, it will be so unfair. I feel he's shown what he can do for the team. And again, when his face was shown when he was still on the bench, he didn't look happy. But again, I'm not going to just try to say, okay, this is the situation, or the other one is the other option is a situation based on his face. No, the look on his face until the manager speaks. Like I said, Roger, I don't know if you want to address the big club comment or not.
Yeah, listen. We're no Real Madrid.
just quickly, this comment on the screen is really hilarious. I'm hearing slight rumbling of pot.
Come on.
Even before he got into his office, the hashtag is out.
Wow.
Just out of dissent for the firing of Thomas Tuchel.
You know, I'm a huge fan of Tuchel, and yeah. I was befuddled and quite disappointed with his dismissal because I really respect him. But
yeah,
you know, if there's one coach that isn't, let's say, a top 5 coach, you know, like an Ancelotti, a Klopp, a Pep, etc., I would welcome him. I think he's England's best young and up and coming coach. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're a huge Chelsea fan and you want him to stay, you better be rooting for England to do well in the World Cup. Because I think if England does poorly, I think they may come calling for him. Like if right now we have 7 games left until the World Cup. If we win all of them or remain undefeated and England does poorly, England FA could actually come knocking on the door to get him. And you have to ask the question, would Potter turn that down? That job rarely comes knocking for you ever. So, you know, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Here's the comment on the big club comment again on the screen. Do the Chelsea team and manager look like a big club? Again, I actually misread it before when I first read it. I don't think I read it correctly, but now I understand.
When you say look, when you talk about performing, well,
yeah, from a performance perspective, yeah.
Well, okay. Look at historically the last 9.5 seasons. Man United are probably worldwide one of the biggest clubs in the world. Have they been performing like a big club for the 9.5 years? No, we just won the Champions League a year and a half ago. So, you know, everything is relative. We're not playing on our best, but we're certainly not playing like Man United did last season, where we made top 3 last year. We got to 2 domestic finals. We won some silverware last year. So yeah, we're consistently good. I think we perform. It all depends on how you define big club. I remember a couple of months ago when I first came on the show, I asked the question, how is Chelsea perceived in the realm of the upper echelon? Are we 1A or 1B or 2A, 2B? I think we're at 1B. I think you're looking at Real Madrid, Barcelona, you know, Liverpool. Okay, got to say United because they're historically huge. These are 1A teams, and there's other teams that I can mention. Also, like
let's not dwell again. Let's not dwell too much on that because we have a game to review. But go ahead.
We're basically a 1B team, but yeah, we're a big team. A big club. in
Yeah,
the
but the
definition.
question, really, I understand. I know you understand the question, but you've
Yes, but
answered
do we
that
look
again.
like it? Do we look
Yeah,
like it? No, we just changed managers, and this is early in the season.
and
We've
we're in a transition period
yeah,
of period.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to take that into consideration. That's part of the equation. So, but you can say that about most big teams also. Look at Barcelona. I know Real Madrid are the exception, but you can ask that question with validity about virtually every other quote unquote big club. Could we play
Hmm.
better? Yes. To represent the status of a big club? Yes, of course we could. But it's early in
Yeah.
the transition.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let me try and catch up with what we have in the chat already. Again, I think again, this guy, he says, players are selected from training performance. I am sure none of us watch the training. Um, if I'm a manager, again, and as long as you train and on a match day proper, if you put in again a good performance, I will select you. Because that's the whole thing. Everything you train for comes down to how well you are able to apply yourself during again a proper match.
But coach, there are coaches that actually don't do that. They only go
Yeah,
by
that's what I'm
what they
saying.
see
If
on the
I were
training
the
pitch.
manager, that's what
Sure,
I'd do.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is believable that managers do that, but to me, it doesn't make any sort of sense. Again, you're preparing for that's. You can say that's why Eden Hazard gets to play. Because he's the
yeah,
worst trainer.
yeah,
According to Mikel, according to John Terry, he's the worst trainer ever. But you know what he brings to the team. That's why on
yeah.
match day, you put him on. He trains. That again, that he's the worst trainer doesn't mean that when every other player is
Sure.
training, he sits and watch them.
I
He
think you have to
trains
take.
too.
I think you have to take both into consideration, in my opinion. Like what they do on the pitch, but conversely, also how they perform on the game, in the game, training
Mm-hmm.
pitch and game. I think, and everyone is different, so you have to take that into consideration also. I fail to believe that Potter doesn't do this. I'd be shocked, I should say, maybe naive of me to think that way. Which begs the question: why isn't he picking Pulisic? Maybe he doesn't see him as a starter then, because he's picked teams in the last month that you and I have discussed are not based on form. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, especially Raheem Sterling. It
Yeah,
just doesn't make any sense that he started against what was that team again?
I
Against
can't remember.
Aston Villa. But go ahead.
Yeah, checkmate. No, that's all I have to say. So that it doesn't logically equate. I don't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sort of sense. But that's fine. Well, let's catch up with what we have in the chat, and we'll go into looking at the lineup proper and the performance of each section of the team. Then we'll go into the player rating. If you have anything to say about the game you want us to talk about, go ahead. Again, put it in the chat. We'll try to look at it. I have a feeling without James in the team, again, the three at the back don't work. Sterling as a wing back, RFC, again, lacks the output. Lacks the output you need from a wing back. I think that's actually, again, that I respectfully disagree with you here, and here's why. I think we have a different output when Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets to play in that position, and a different output when James gets to play in that position. Here's the thing: whenever again Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets to play in the right wing back position, he's more again. It contributes more to the midfield area. It contributes to the more to the midfield area. Might not get a goal, but Reece James can get you a goal from that area and puts more crosses in the box than he does. But if Loftus-Cheek plays here, we can get goals create chances from the central area, and we'll do better in the midfield area whenever he starts in that position. So the output from two of the players are different, and that's why in most cases you see sometimes Thomas Tuchel prefers to play Loftus-Cheek there than Reece James. It depends on the output he wants. So it's not like, again, we can still do without James, but we do better without James because he gets you goals too. And defensively, he's solid.
Coach,
Yeah.
you know what the biggest issue we have is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Missing Kante. Because not only are we missing what he brings, but also when he does play, he masks our defensive deficiencies.
A lot.
So we've had historically since he's been at the club, 5 years or so, 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he masks it. He covers it up because of the amount of ground he covers, the tackles he makes, the amount of interceptions he makes. He makes us look better than we truly are. So it's like a mirage in some regards. And then when you actually get to play without him, we're exposed. You're then exposed. It's like removing your makeup. There's scars underneath, and you're seeing the result of that. By Kante not playing, you're actually seeing how good our defense has been, and it's telling, coach. It's telling.
It is telling indeed.
Not just from the midfield, but the defensive line.
Yeah, I hope Graham Potter finds a solution before we play Manchester United, because otherwise it's a different ball game altogether.
Well, you clone Kante. It's simple as that. You get a laboratory, you clone him.
That's the quickest of solutions I've ever heard about. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to like the stream. We have just 12 likes, and really, we should be doing better than that. Even if you're watching and you're not in the chat, please just reach out. Again, just drop a like to help us reach more people. That does go a long way. Thank you so much for that. Again, it says, have I read this again? I have a feeling. Okay, yeah, I've read that one there. This one says again, we don't. But we watch the game and see who is playing poorly and who is having an effect when they come on. Yep, that's the truth. Again, we will have a surprise on Saturday. Again, seeing Zakaria on the lineup. Again, mark my words, Potter is unpredictable. He is indeed unpredictable, but from what we've seen and what he said, again, it doesn't look good for, again, Dennis Zakaria. But if that changes, I'd take it, because I know what he's capable of bringing. But again, if you know Potter very well, that's a chance he doesn't even consider using him. If he does, I think he would do us. He will bring, you could say, again, a better protection for the defense, given, again, he can fulfill the traditional DM role. Yeah, England already nabbed Steve Holland from us. They did. Yeah, they may well come for, again, our manager not right now. The big club question is about telling you that yesterday's team list and the manager Dean again they picked the big club. Yeah, you can say it was a poor performance, but it was easy again how good the midfield we played towards the end of the game to mask every other woeful aspect of the game that we saw. But no, I'm not the type to just move on from that. I think we have to talk about it. Roger, coming to you, let's start talking about the players. Kepa Arrizabalaga, and deservedly he got 8.1 rating. Again, no taking away anything from him. You could say, yeah, we've been quite lucky. Some of those shots he faced came down straight again the goalpost, but some of them you could say, shows you how good of a goalkeeper he is. Especially the one that I heard that some of the pundits were saying that he was at fault. The one where he came off his line and got closer. I think that was Ivan Toney, right? And got closer to him. Here's the thing. I think no matter how you see it, whoever it was that nodded that ball and Kepa saved it again, point blank, have seen Kepa and had no other option than to try to lob the ball over him with his head. Had Kepa stayed in his line, that person would have actually had the time to probably let the ball drop, or maybe headed towards a different, again, an impossible angle for area for Kepa to reach. So Kepa read it very well and was off his line, was too close to the player, and the player had no option than to try to lob it over him. So they should just shot it if they don't know what they're talking about.
These decisions are split-second decisions. They're made in fractions of seconds, how someone is reading the game. And I thought he did remarkably well as a shot stopper, very well.
Yeah,
his distribution
that one in particular.
Yes, I thought that. So, when the goalkeeper comes into view on camera, the one thing I do is my attention goes towards the keeper and his positioning, his footwork. That's all I look at for the most part, in conjunction where the ball is. That's what I do. I like to learn and watch what they do and differ and compare different styles. To me, I thought Kepa played well. His positioning obviously is good. You
can tell you're watching a man who's high on confidence.
Yes, yeah, and he stated as such in his interview, stating that he's been given consecutive starts, and this builds confidence. So he's a player that I think excels in that regard. But I also like the fact that he's coming out and punching the ball. He's being more aggressive. He's trying to dominate his box. His distribution was excellent. The one thing I've noticed the last couple of weeks, when let's say you have a goal kick and you're booting the ball upfield, have you noticed how little A, that our players don't go up for a challenge, or B, that they're not physical enough going up for the ball? I've noticed that even in the midfield when there's a clearance, it's that the lack of physicality and leaping ability. That I don't know whether these are tired legs, but you go over the last 3 or 4 games, that the amount of aerial duels we've lost is considerably higher than our opponents. That's telling, and I've noticed that from every phase of the game, upfield, midfield, and defensively. We've been out-jumped quite often. I have a question. Do you think Koulibaly is not strong in the air? Because I'm not seeing him winning any
No,
duels
I think
lately.
he is. Really, I think he is. But like I said again, there is again. Here's the thing.
I like him a lot. I
I get your point. I think he is good aerially. But here's the thing about that defense yesterday and the way we played. I think it's easy to think the defense did well because playing out from the back and attacking, we did well. But if you look at the chances that Brentford had, they were all defensive mistakes.
Yeah.
One again, it's Cesar Azpilicueta mistiming his jump. That's a primary school error from a defender of his experience.
Yeah.
He just literally jumped, and as the ball was getting close to him, he was only descending. It was already.
Chilwell did that last game.
Exactly. So that alone, again, one of them was just. You could say Koulibaly running into he nearly ran into Trevor Chalobah. So I'm saying I think the whole thing comes down to the manager the placement of the players. Koulibaly is used to leading centrally, and Chalobah hasn't led any team centrally for a while. So I'm not sure. So my argument being maybe because of what we saw Koulibaly do yesterday, like him getting close to the midfield carrying the ball deep into the opposition area. Okay, so probably that was why he was tasked with doing that. That was why Chalobah started centrally. But to me, it is still a huge risk. That was why you can say we saw a disjointed performance from them. But again, if most people that don't understand football would just pay attention to how well we did when we attack, but not how the confusion that you can sense in our defense when we're defending. But go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I think you summed it up. There's multiple phases of a game, right? And I've noticed our aerial capacity lately has been woefully low. That's what I've noticed the last 2, 3, 4 matches, and I really rate Koulibaly. He's improving week in, week out. It took him maybe a game or 2 to adjust to the speed. And
I was never concerned really, and I think
same here. Yeah. He's considered one of the top 5 in Europe easily. And to be honest with you, I had given up on him coming to the Premier League. I thought he'd stay and retire out in Italy, but there was for years many clubs wanting him. He's considered an upper echelon defensive player, that's for sure. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't think we'd get him, so I'm so glad we did after losing Rudiger. But I've noticed that I don't see him dominating in the air, at least from what I've seen so far. I'm not saying he can't. Don't get me wrong. I have high praise for him. I couldn't imagine us without him right now. We'd be wow. But just aerially, collectively, by the way, we're poor.
Let's bring it back to Kepa Arrizabalaga. We get to Koulibaly, and I'll get to what we have in the chat. When I come back to the screen, we'll look at the team's overall statistics. You could say highlights how poorly our defense did. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I give Kepa. I thought Kepa did well, but I was talking about aerial because every time we booted it long, I just saw the lack of physicality from our players. But so I thought his distribution was excellent. I would give him an 8.5, probably, maybe a 9. I thought this is maybe I'm being biased because I love that position, but I thought without him we lose again for the second consecutive game. I thought he played above his grade. I thought he was at 8.5, 9. He was player of the match, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he given that? Actually,
yeah. Sorry for not updating you on how. See how we're going to approach it. Again, we'll talk about the departments like the defensive midfield. Then we'll come back to the rating overall. I didn't update you on that. So let me catch up with what we have in the chat. And if you have anything you have to say about the game you want us to talk about, shoot it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Kepa again, the octopus. Yep. Again, I love that. Big up perspective. Big up my brother again, Boogeyman, aka Foul Diaz, aka Boogeyman. There's something wrong with our offensive tactics or offensive players, and they cannot keep the ball. The link-up play overall was awful. They cannot keep the ball or don't know what to do with it. Our midfield and defense have too much to do. You can say, I think, Roger, you already talked about that, how the whole thing starts with how poor our attack, again, has always been. But you can say, again, but closer to the defense, lack of the proper protection is the reason why the opposition defense, they come at us with ease, like we don't even exist again. But we've been quite lucky in 2 games now. I'm not sure really how to sort that out if Graham Potter doesn't like to play with traditional DMs. But we'll get to that in a bit. Again, you're not going to say anything, Coach. Yeah, I get your point. Here's Christian Pulisic's lawyer, probably not happy. But we'll get to that in a bit. Again, training well doesn't get you a start. Playing well doesn't get you a start. Again, so yeah,
it does though, Coach. It does.
That's what I'm saying. No, but the question he's leaving out for you to complain is what gets you a start.
No, I get it. I get it. But you hear time in, time out in multiple sports, but specifically football / soccer, is that you'll say, "Oh yeah, I picked him over this player because he had a good training session all week." You hear coaches or managers say that all the time in press conferences. So it does. People are given chances to start based on what they do on the training ground during the week. It's simple as that. It's a fact. Training well doesn't get you a start. Playing well doesn't get you a start. Well, I don't know.
What does really? But that's, by the way, again, Kai Havertz is stressing me out. Again, we're missing Rudiger so much. No, I don't think we're missing that. That's not the case. Again, we have, if we, and that was where Koulibaly played yesterday. He can actually do better than Koulibaly. Again, he's different. Koulibaly is different, but I'd take him anytime, any day over Koulibaly. You can say, again, as much as they're both good players, really, really good defenders.
Say that again, Coach? You take Rudiger over Koulibaly?
No, I'll take Koulibaly over Rudiger.
Really?
Yeah. Anytime, any day.
I'm split. I like them both evenly.
No, like I said, if you remember, I said they're both very, very good players.
Oh, indeed.
Honestly. But again, there's always, again, if you have to, if I'm told to take one of the two, I will always take Koulibaly. To me, I think he's more of an intelligent player and more versatile than Antonio Rudiger is.
With both feet, yes, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. He can lead centrally.
Yes, but I think Rudiger is more dominant in the air, especially scoring.
Yeah, you could argue that. Again, you could. That's a solid argument, I have to say.
It's of one, half a dozen of the other. I rate them both, and I would have loved for them both to play together.
Yes and no for me, but I cannot explain myself at that right now. But again, Koulibaly's overall play, I think, trumps that of again, what's his name, Antonio Rudiger. But that's not why we're here today. Again,
I know.
Again, Koulibaly is a bit a sluggish man. I don't think he is. I don't know what you were looking at. Roger is spot on. There is longer a fear factor when playing Chelsea. We no longer have the muscle we used to have. Costa, Ivanovic, Essien, Balak, JT, etc. We don't have that character in our team anymore. All soft again in every department. You can say the only guy that isn't that soft at this point is Koulibaly. Honestly, you could just argue that the only guy that isn't really soft. For me, again, yeah.
Hold on. Yes and no, because you know what? What's his name? The other defensive back. I thought he had an outstanding game.
No, I'm not saying this sport. In terms of, again, not being soft. I don't think Chalobah is soft. I think it's, but again, you could say, but he's not. Yeah, let me just, again, you know what? Let me just say Koulibaly isn't soft. Let me just put it that way to be safe with my comment. Chalobah isn't soft either. I think he's good. Again, he can be, again, rough if need be. He can be aggressive is the right term if need be. But again, we only have a few of those in our team. But again, you could say character-wise, I don't know how to talk. Let me just move on from that now. Let's make it an argument for another day. We don't really have, again, not a strong enough character in the team. The Blue figure mentioned, and that's him. More emphasis on what you already talked about. But that's why, again, for me, as much as we think Mount needs a break, we cannot afford to do so. It's as simple as that. And you can say that's the reason why he gets to start every game, no matter how tired, again, we think he is. Potter has to find a way to build the team around Mount. Mount is capable of, again, becoming our Iniesta, the brain of our system. Again, I'm not the one to, again, to argue for a team to build around a single player, because the argument comes in what happens if that player isn't performing. Then the whole team falter. It's as simple as that. Again, I want us to build a team, again, a unit where we don't rely on a single individual to do whatever we want to do. But then again, do we have the luxury to really do that? I don't think so. And that's where Mount gets overplayed, because, again, we don't have any other player that we see that much commitment from, only a few. Again, and the performance we get from the industry and all that. Again, guys, please, we have just, again, 14 likes. We can actually do better than that. So please take a second, even if you're not in the chat, drop a like on the stream to help us reach more people. Again, it says you would take a Koulibaly on the left center back position over Rudiger. Not really. But as an overall, what I can get from a single player, I'd take him. Not in the left center back position. I think Koulibaly Rudiger made that role his own. The question is, again, if you were an opposing team standing in the tunnel with our players, would you be quirking in your boots? No. Who makes you? No, except we have Thiago Silva, again, who has won literally everything. But again, in that sense that you're talking about, I don't think it doesn't actually come into that category. But he has the repertoire, he has the pedigree. Again, he has the intelligence to lead the back line. But we need that balance, like we had when we had, again, Rudiger, we had, again, Thiago Silva, and then we had, again, you have ruggedity, if that's how you want to see it. We have aggression, if you want to see it. Then we have that cool-headedness, leading centrally, and intelligence too. They're all intelligent, but again, in terms of the ability to perform a particular role, they differ. So we need a balance in the midfield area. Again, look at Jorginho. Look at, again, Loftus-Cheek makes a difference because he can be physical on his day. But still, given the style of play, we don't see that character where you have a mix of Michael Essien and, again, or some other players, again, that play alongside them. But I get your point there. But that's, by the way, so Roger, the defense, they did an okay job. And we've discussed how you can say if you pay attention to the chances that Brentford had, then you see really there's an issue there. There's a coordination issue. There's a positioning issue. There's a poor communication issue. I don't know if you want to talk about that. Again, we're not going to go into rating now. We'll look at their overall, again, performance. We'll look at their individual performance one by one. The midfield area, again, you can't fault them that much because they were good to watch, but they didn't do good enough job protecting the defense, did they? I want to get your thoughts.
No, and that's never going to transpire when A, you're missing Kante, and B, you have J5 in midfield. He's he's not exactly known for his defensive prowess, is he? Let's be honest. He doesn't have the height, he doesn't have the speed or the strength. So there's a defensive liability in midfield when J5 is playing. You have to understand, when we don't have the ball, he's a liability. When we do have the ball and when he's not pressed, he's our quarterback. As simple as that. But, you have to swallow that pill, because putting him in that midfield, you have to understand that you're going to take a step backwards defensively. As simple as that. I thought Ruben played very well in midfield. I thought he was excellent. I like everything he does, period. I thought he had an outstanding game yet again.
Of course.
I'm being serious. Are you being sarcastic? I didn't know.
No.
Okay.
I know how much you like him, really. But again, but go ahead.
And like the last game, Villa, I thought he had an average game until I saw the game the second time around, and I thought he was actually quite strong. He had a better game than I first thought, I should say. And for my first viewing of the game, I thought he was very strong. We do have defensive deficiencies. We look like, I want to view it the second time to see exactly how close our back three are aligned and how far apart they are, because that's what you need to understand. That's telling you something. And did Brentford? Listen, they were aggressive. They were direct and aggressive. I didn't think we played poorly. But then again, our goalkeeper was brought into action 2 minutes.
But there were key elements, again, that were problematic for us.
Yeah, especially the first 15 minutes. I was quaking in my boots. I was like, nope, this is not looking good. But then after the 15 minutes, I thought we started to play very well and we took control. But then the start of the second half, it was virtually identical to the first half. It really was. But there was
go ahead.
I know we're not going to talk about this, but one player that impressed me, I thought Ruben, I thought Chalobah, and I thought Chukwuemeka. Wow.
We'll get to him. And you said one player that impressed you, or did you say players that impressed you?
Yeah, I kept on going on and on. No, but seriously,
no, but you're right. We get to them. We will get to them. Here's the thing for me. Again, I think we've talked about it a bit. There were key elements that were problematic.
Do you think Chalobah is part of the problem then?
No, I'm not saying that he's the problem. I'm saying the placement of the players.
Right. So
had Rudiger started, had Koulibaly started centrally, we'd have less of that issue, really.
And then you want Cucurella.
Chalobah to the right. Again, for what I'm thinking, for what I have in mind to happen, we're going to need serious adjustments here, because it will mean, again, Koulibaly coming centrally, Chalobah going to the right, and Azpilicueta going to the right wing back position, and Ruben again playing somewhere else. Again,
and then Cucurella playing left.
Exactly, playing left center. Just you could say the structure against Wolves practically. But again, I think. Here's the thing, and it's just here's why I'm concerned. I think Potter, as much as I know, I've learned that he's a risk taker. You could say he takes risks to the extent that you could argue he's being reckless, really.
But you know what? Listen, so I understand exactly what you said, but Aspie is going to be starting Saturday, and if he played him as a right wing back, he wouldn't have the legs to start, because where he's playing in the back three, he's not utilized as much going forward.
Let me say this quickly. I think Ben Chilwell plays on Saturday. We would have a more solid back three if he's going to go with the back three. But Potter right now, he's so unpredictable, and plus we don't have enough to work with. Again, we're going to move on to talking about the attacking area. We've talked about the midfield. Again, just give me a few seconds here. We need to readjust this. Koulibaly again, but again, Thiago Silva gets to play.
I think Silva starts Saturday for sure.
Yeah, he starts on Saturday, and I think Koulibaly starts on the left, and I think Chalobah goes to the right. So we, by default, we'll have a much more solid back line against United. And I think again, Azpilicueta isn't going to start against United. Probably Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the right, again, a right wing back position. And I think Potter must have seen enough, again, how well Jorginho can do with Kovacic together on their day. But again, he has to answer. There's a question to answer on how well those two can protect the defense, which is critical, which will be critical against Manchester United. If you don't protect the back three, they will exploit that very, very well. And Ten Hag is a smart, again, is a tactical, again, good, again, he's a smart tactical manager. Go ahead, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, one question for you. Did you watch the United Spurs game?
I have to be honest, I haven't.
You know what? That's the best game they've played all year. But actually, maybe for several years, they were dominant. Listen, it's part of the two parts of that equation. Spurs were so poor and they were so defensive. They were. It could have been easily 5, 6, 7.
Do you think I'm surprised?
No, but Man United were looking excellent.
And just quickly here's why I'm not surprised. It's Antonio Conte's team. His best approach against any team, any big team that's capable of, that has good players, is to defend and hit them on a break.
Yes, well, especially when you have Song and Kane. I get it. But what I wanted to say about that game was they dissected their passing. They're passing from, believe it or not, Fred, of all people, who I'm not a big fan of. He looked like Kevin De Bruyne. He was dissecting their midfield. With the forward passing, they were penetrating. They were amazing. And I'm like, if they are able to do that against Chelsea,
let me ask quickly. Let me ask quickly.
And I cannot defend. That's what I wanted to say.
Let me ask quickly, and we'll move on from that quickly. Did Casemiro start?
Yes, he did.
Alongside Fred. And here's a stat for you.
I know that.
In all the games they've played against, they played for Brazil together.
Unbeaten.
They've lost one. I think.
Oh, is it one? Okay.
Yeah, I think they've lost one. And I argued that with Sophia Talks Football or Sophia's football channel.
Yeah, it's an impressive stat, isn't it?
Yeah, I told them, again, that Manchester United, actually, the moment those two start playing together, they will become a different team altogether. Yeah. And Casemiro, you can say, he brings out the best of players that play alongside him. But let's move on from him. We're here to talk Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you and I would do a review on soccer perspective.
But the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because of their dissecting forward passing.
Oh, yeah. That's Eric. I knew before time. That's Eric Ten Hag's approach.
But coach, when I'm watching that game, this was after the Chelsea game, I'm thinking, if they do that against us this Saturday, and if Jorginho starts, we're in trouble. Let's put it this way. Chalobah's starting record of being undefeated is going to be in serious risk.
Yeah, we'll see what happens against 18 likes. We can do better than that. Go ahead, people. Keep dropping the likes. Again, let's catch up with what we have in the chat and come back to talking Chelsea again. But again, it's only natural that we, every now and then, you can say, again, talk about all the teams, and it makes sense. And Roger aligned the reason why we talked about them. If we play against them with the same way we played in the past few games, we're in trouble, really. Again, the question again is if you are, again, opposite standing. Yeah, again, I've answered that. This one here, again, I have to admit, Kai was awful. He was. Oh, and that's Kai's, agent talking. Old Havertz Kai. He was awful indeed. Again, not sure where Rodgers sees the excellence as he's always, again, holds on to the ball too long, and a lot of, again, attacks just breaks down because of it. Can you be specific? I want to know who you're talking about. No, I want to know who Slam Lane is talking about.
He's probably talking about Ruben.
Oh, yeah. Again, Ruben did well, but in some cases, I think he needs to release his sooner than usual. Than he did. I agree with that. I don't know if you agree. I know you're his cousin or lawyer or whatever you choose to be for him.
I've noticed that also. There are times when he needs to practice the 1-2 touch, just control it. But he dribbles forward and he uses his physical prowess to shrug people off, and he's looking for other players to make opening runs. But that's my defense, Your Honor.
Yeah. Again, let me catch up with the chat. We have AD Love for Blue in the house. I'll get back to you in a bit. We've talked about this, the departments again, the goalkeeper, the defense, the midfield. Now we're going to talk about that, but I'll give AD a chance to tell us what he thinks about Kepa. No rating yet. Again, at the back of three, the midfield, then we'll catch up and we'll go to the attacking area.
Hey, Eddie.
Again, last night it just felt like, again, we had, again, one eye on the United game. No, I don't think that's the case. We've been rotating, and I knew before time that Thiago Silva would start, but if you ask me, even if I dreamt about Christian Pulisic not starting, I'd still say no. He's going to start. Surprisingly, he didn't. In Ruben, yeah, okay. Again, our game against Brentford showed me exactly why we need players like Nkunku and Leao. Again, players who can take people on. Again, a strike of fear. Because after Hazard, we don't have that. But believe me, boy, how many minutes did Carney Chukwuemeka play? But you see what a difference he could make. Wow. He showed he's never afraid of taking on players. And boy, that boy will go a long way. And I'm happy that Graham Potter likes him. Again, 20 likes, people. Let's get it to 50 at least as soon as possible. If you're watching, even if you're not in the chat, please take a second to come and drop a like on the video. I am so gutted. We could have won that game first half. What? Did you, did you watch a different game, really? We could have conceded first. And had that happened, we'll be talking about a different outcome. Because had we conceded the first goal, would be all out to get an equalizing goal and probably be exposed. And they are capable of exploiting high lines quite well. They do that very well. But we'll see. Come on, people, drop the like if you want the channel. Go ahead, please keep dropping the likes. 21 likes honestly isn't good enough. As much as I'm grateful for that, Chelsea has always been a team that has players who are able to create something out of nothing. Again, we absolutely don't have any right now. Except Christian Pulisic can actually, let's be honest, he can do that for you, but you have to show him you trust him. First of all, I don't think he's gotten that yet. You have to show him you trust him. But I'd argue he'd think the manager don't trust him either. This particular manager don't trust him. Come on, people, like the video if you want the channel to grow and keep bringing us all the news and reviews and delicious comments because you're part of the show also, and we enjoy watching that. Yes, go ahead. I don't know what Eddie. Maybe Eddie has a poor connection. So let's talk about the attacking three, the two behind Broja. Again, let's start with the two behind Broja. As much as I know, Mason Mount. Again, you see the reason he shouldn't. Again, as much as I think he shouldn't have started that game, he started. We didn't see the best of performances from him, probably because he needed a rest. So we're not going to talk too much about him. But Kai Havertz, a player I love, a player that I can say I understand what he brings to the team, but no, that wasn't it. Eddie, don't try to fight for it.
No, I thought he had
Roger,
a poor
so
game.
to speak. Yeah, go ahead.
I thought Kai he looked tired. He looked out of form. He came close to a tap-in, though. As I said before.
Not even a tap-in. He took a shot too.
Yeah, and it was on target. It was saved.
Yeah, but they didn't go in, so it's easy to pick up his poor performance overall. Really,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, what was he at his best? No. Do I rate him? Yes. I thought, I don't know. I thought, listen, this has been not just this game. I must admit, though, it was an improvement. I'm talking about collectively, the whole team. We played better than we did against Villa.
That's considering that towards the end of the game.
Yes, but I'm just talking about that from my first impression. I'd have to watch it a second time, but I'm adamant that was the case. Mm-hmm. Did we do well going forward? Listen, you're playing with the number 9 with his first start. A, he's probably nervous. B, he doesn't have enough minutes to build a chemistry on the field because you can't duplicate real game time speed in practice, as they say. So, like the physicality, especially because you don't go in hard when you're training. I mean, it's counterproductive. So, I believe it will take a certain amount of games for them to gel, So you can't really critique that much. Yes, I agree with you. I don't think Mount should have started at all. In fact, I would have given Connor the start and have them, interchange, have them replace each other off and on so many games because they're very similar players in their style, in their productivity, etc., etc. I don't like them, just like you don't, when they play together as much because that means that where's the substitution going to come from? I get it. I thought Kai was poor. I thought Mount wasn't his normal self. And, Broja, I thought was excellent considering what he had. His speed was telling. I know that I forgot the defensive chap's name. He's long in the tooth, as they say, but he was impressive. His physicality.
But it was clear that we were looking at a raw talent yesterday, an unfinished product in terms from again.
And we look disjointed, coach. We look disjointed because they don't have enough time spent on the pitch together, and that's the fact.
Yeah. Other than that, now.
Other than that.
Yeah, you could tell again. Let's be honest again. We saw again his performance was promising. We saw a glimpse of what Broja is capable of doing. Good runs.
Were you pleased with him?
Good positional sense and all that. Plus again, you can say his pace was something special, and his acceleration too.
For a man of his size.
Again, in that case, or in that instance where he had to bundle the ball off the feet of the Brentford defender when they both landed on the carpet.
Yep.
The defender started running before him, and he was like he was like 10 miles away, but he accelerated, caught up with the defender, run past him, and then tried to control the ball. But again, overall, we saw again things that showed some final decision making that showed he's still young. He's still 19. Yes. Is it still 19? Yeah. He's still very young.
Had he looked up and passed centrally, there would have been a tap in.
Again, had he been the one that again that was at the end of that cross that he was the one that orchestrated, I think he wouldn't miss that again. But then again, honestly, I think. A lot of positives for him. No, I wouldn't say anything was negative. Actually, he did everything correctly, except just the final decision making, which is very common with players at his age. And I know that with time he improves on that. And I'm happy that the club, trust him well enough, to keep him out of the club.
I was pleased with his performance, coach. I was pleased. There was no negatives.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you summed it up. There was no negatives apart from the finishing per se. But I thought he did himself well. I thought from the coach's perspective, you would say, you know what, I don't think he gave the impression to the coach that I can't start this guy again. I believe that Potter's looking at him and saying I can start him again. He showed enough for me that he's raw, but he's going to do well. I really believe that. I was pleased with him.
Yeah, he did again quite well. I'm happy that we kept him. I think, and I like again his integration into the team has been a gradual process. Exactly. And I've preached this before. It's not something you don't want to do that in a rush. You don't want to just throw him into the first and give him start again. And then you get in the fan base to start expecting too much from him. And when that happens, he'd be well aware of that, and end up. Again, becoming overwhelmed by the whole thing. Again, so much pressure on him can affect his development. Let me catch up with the chat, and I'm seeing something here. Again, oh my goodness. Maybe I haven't looked at the spreadsheet you sent to me. I like making birthday. I like making birthday videos for the players. So I'm going to do one for Carney Chukwuemeka. We had, again, a penalty disallowed. Yes, I think I'll get, let me just write that down. I'll get Rodrigo's thoughts on the overall, his highlights from the game, positives and negatives. I'm not going to go back to him talking about the players one by one. We'll do that together in a bit. And then I want to find out what we think, again, about the officiating. Please don't let me forget that. Why am I saying, again, some mistakes? That's why I'm saying first half, again, the club of our size should have gotten at least a first half. Okay. Again, too much rotation. Sterling and Alba should have played in their position. And from the beginning, Chilwell over Cucurella for me. Again, he offers so much more going forward. And with James out again, he was missed. That's just the truth. Pulisic, let's be honest. Again, he's not good enough. And the moment he starts playing regular football, he gets injured. So I think we should move him. Or again, Pulisic plus cash for Leao. It sounds easy. That's never going to happen. Again, even Leao won't get you how much Pulisic is making the club, and I'm sure the owners are aware of that. Again, what does Kai Havertz brings to the team? Again, he's a ghost. He plays so slow, like he is.
That's cold.
Oh my God.
I'm waiting for Roger to say ouch.
Yeah, double ouch, coach. Double ouch. No.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt badly. But I have to stop laughing, man.
That's brutal.
Yeah, but I haven't given up on Kai anyway. That's me. You have every right there. He runs like he's playing the veterans match. In a veterans football match. Happy 19th birthday to Carney, who did really well. He did fantastically well, and we'll talk about his debut. But let me come to Rodrigo again. Radis, your thoughts on the overall performance, negatives and positives for you. Again, I know you've dropped the keys to the panic boys. Let me know if you can, if that's not the case.
Yeah, until January. It's only for transfer windows.
Okay, you only drive the panic boys during the transfer windows. Okay, okay, go ahead, brother.
Yes, in terms of the game, obviously you say we're gonna go into players after. Yeah, but in terms of the game overall, I was satisfied. I wasn't as so. My biggest shock is how the Chelsea fans were shocked about the results or about how Brentford approached this game. I think it's some Chelsea fan. I don't know if it's arrogance or what. Chelsea don't have a God-given right for 3 points in the Premier League. Not every game you play in the Premier League, you're not gonna get 3 points.
Are you ever gonna pick up the keys to the panic boss again? This is so optimistic from you, and this so positive. I cannot believe who's speaking.
Turn on your camera. I don't believe it's you.
Are you serious right now? But go ahead. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was watching the game. I started watching the game, and I was expecting. What I expect from Brentford, I expected that the commitment, the pressing. It's a derby game. Maybe for Chelsea fans, they don't see Brentford as a rival, but trust me, for Brentford, this is a game. And I used to have a lot of Brentford fans when I was a kid. We used to play football with them, and for them, Chelsea is one of those games in the calendar, the end market. Like we're gonna put 100% in that game.
So the FA Cup final for them.
It's an effort. They even play like if you watch the game the way Brentford play, they play like in a knockout game. So I was expecting that level of commitment from Brentford. What I saw from us is I was like, we need to survive the first 15 minutes, which we did without conceding. Because if we conceded early in that game, we would have lost.
It's game over, really. But go ahead.
But it was good. It was good game management in terms of the way we paced the game. Like, we know we're not going to come here and dominate. We want to do that, but we need to contain ourselves, which we did well. But obviously, there are things like the missing chances, the player selection that, the manager got wrong. But again, we play every 3 days. Even the selection of some players, we're like, oh, what did you pick this and not that player? You have to understand when you play against Brentford, first thing you need to cover is height. You need to have tall players on. Regardless of whatever, you need to have top players to start with. Because Brentford, what they will do is they will attack the box from throw-in, from free kicks, from everything, set pieces.
Physical.
You have top players. You can't.
But really, I want to get your thoughts on again those chances that Brentford had. Again, our defense. No, that wasn't even primary school players would do better. For our prime example, Cesar Azpilicueta mistiming his jump. As the ball was getting close to him, he was already dropping. But go ahead.
So there were a few things like that. Yeah, there was even I remember vividly one where Ivan Toney found a gap between I think Koulibaly and Chalobah. I think it was in the second half. It was a 1-2, and then it was 1-on-1. I don't know why he dragged the ball wide and Kepa saved it, because that was a clear chance. But yeah, I think it's because one thing I feel like we need to do is to move Koulibaly from the left centre back to the middle. I feel like that's the change that was needed.
We would have had, again, here's the thing, Rodrigo, again, you make a very delicious point there. The defense would have performed better, and I don't think Ivan Toney would have gotten the chances he got in terms of those headings. Because our defense seemed confused. Whenever they come at us, there's a lot of confusion in the positions of our defenders. They were everywhere. Go ahead.
Because I feel like the centre back is the general, so he's the one that's dictating. So if you have Chalobah, I don't think Chalobah is I hate using words like this. He's an alpha.
He's not experienced enough to lead that back line. That just reminds me of the same mistake Thomas Tuchel made away at Zagreb, where Fofana led centrally rather than Koulibaly doing the same.
Exactly. So for me,
go ahead.
For me, Chalobah is a secondary centre back that supplement a Silva or Koulibaly. So if he did that switch between Chalobah and Koulibaly, could have worked, because Koulibaly is actually very good at progressing the ball. Now, one thing that we noticed yesterday, I don't know if it was just me, I noticed that Chalobah doesn't break the line enough as a middle centre back, because when you play as a middle centre back, you lack the quarterback. So you need to be able to play the ball with both your feet, left, right.
And that begs the question, why didn't Koulibaly start centrally?
That's what I was confused. I was really confused. Or maybe Chalobah is not comfortable defending on his weak foot, because there's a chance, I think, remember in the first half, right? When Brentford had a free kick, Ivan Toney headed the ball, Kepa saved it, and then the ball went to the wing. And then you see how awkward it was for Chalobah to clear the ball. I don't know if you remember that phase. It was in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chalobah not comfortable playing on his weak foot. So, and he had to do. I was watching, like, why do you have to switch your body to clear the ball? Because he found himself in the channel, like on, I think it was on the left, and he didn't clear the ball properly. He saw that he's so awkward on his weaker foot. But personally, I would have switched the two, and it would have worked, because in the first time you saw Onyeka gave Koulibaly a lot of problem, because obviously for pace and stuff. But Chalobah would have been able to handle him, because Chalobah is quick.
Mm-hmm. How are you able to pronounce that name very correctly like that?
Take practice.
Oh no, honestly, because it's the same again. It's the same from from the same place, the same dialect, the same ethnicity. So I know how it's pronounced. But again, kudos to you. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Props to me. Yeah. So overall, I was impressed. I was. Do you know what? For the results, the type of run we're in, Brentford away on a Wednesday night, it's not a bad point to take away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bad point.
It's not. As much as it's not a bad point to take away, as much as we can say it's a difficult place to go and get a win, we have to be objective. We have to talk about what wasn't right, what was right again in that game.
Of course.
Yeah, and again, you can say we were lucky. Actually, we were lucky again for the second game in a row.
Yeah, for me, what wasn't right for the second game in a row, the starting 11 wasn't right. Wasn't what I was expecting. But then again, there's
what would you have done differently in the lineup?
Me personally, I would still have played Havertz from the beginning, because of the height issue. I feel like defending set pieces and corners is very, very key when you play Brentford. But I would have played Pulisic. So I would have gone with instead of Gallagher. So I would have played Pulisic and Havertz. But obviously with Havertz, I would have played him and sub him. Obviously, we're talking at the beginning of the game. Obviously, as the game went on, you could see the guy wasn't in the game. Then I would have put Aubameyang early on. But from the starting of the game, I feel like Gallagher shouldn't. I would have played Pulisic, because we had nothing on the wing. We pretty much had central midfield.
The wing play was poor,
and the formation that he started. Yes. I think I don't know if you watch on the commentator mentioned that when Potter play Brentford last year with Brighton, he played that diamond midfielder with, I think it was Caicedo sitting, and then the two midfielder close to him. But one thing you need to realize, Jorginho can't play a long DM against a team that's pressing you. And then you notice straight away when Gallagher came off, he reverted back to a 6-6. I think from the beginning, and maybe
it was a hybrid again. One of them sitting and the other,
Aspie as a right back, Ruben in midfield, and play back 4. And obviously, build space, you can switch to a back 3. But
let me ask you this: what does Christian Pulisic have to do? Does he have to go clean Potter's house before he gets a start?
Wash his car.
Yeah.
That was a strange one. I think this game was because before the lineup, I thought he'll play a back 4, Cucurella left back, Pulisic left wing, and the same way he played against Wolves. Yeah. That's literally the lineup I was going for. Obviously, that's literally the lineup I was going for. And then I was surprised when I didn't see Pulisic in. Because Pulisic, at least, I know he's not the tallest player, obviously, but at least what Pulisic would have given us when Sterling's on the pitch is someone to drive at defenders. Or even on a counter-attack. Because we
had speed.
Speed, yeah. We didn't have that in transition.
He's very...
Go ahead, Roger. Go ahead, come in.
Yeah, he's Werner-esque in that regard, Pulisic. You know, he's a better dribbler. He's got speed. He's clinical, you know. I really rate Pulisic, and I honestly believe he needs 3 to 5 games consecutively to start and not be pulled off at the 60th minute. Let him play the 80th to the 90th minute. He deserves that. He's that kind of player that I believe requires this to get into
a confident player.
Yeah, exactly. And he needs to build a chemistry, and don't change the other 2 players constantly while he's starting those X amount of games. At least try to keep a modicum of continuity there. I think that's vital for him. Or for any player.
And Rodrigo, did you by any chance get to speak with Potter? Why isn't he starting? What do you think is going on?
I think it's Tuchel's fault, actually. I think it's...
What?
I know where he's going with that one.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Rodrigo. Really, what's going on, really? We're all confused.
Me too.
I was really, really confused because I can understand what was the game we played? The AC Milan game, fair enough.
Sure.
Yeah, the Aston Villa game, yeah, maybe. But this one was 100% Pulisic game. I don't know why he didn't start him. Because now it's not going to start against United. So the next game he might start, or we might think he will start, is is it Salzburg that we play Tuesday next week? Yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm. So I really don't get it. He should have played. I think he should have played. Maybe he's going to start against United. That's going to be it's going to be something, because I can't see where he would play against United.
Again, maybe if he doesn't start against United, I'll be waiting to retweet his dad's tweets. I'm going to tell you that. Go ahead.
Another positive, though. Chukwuemeka. Did I say that all right?
You said that all right. That's how I don't know how you get this name correctly, but go ahead.
Yeah, he again, he's another positive from the game.
Huge positive. Huge.
He's a really good player. He's like he reminds me of a young Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, even more. Actually, again, you could say he's even more. How do I phrase it?
Fluid.
Yeah, more fluid. He looks more fluid than him.
They're cut from the same cloth. You're right. They remind me of each other so much. The physicality. I think also Chukwuemeka, I think maybe faster.
His position, I think he's quicker. His positioning also is just brilliant. That's again how he passes the ball and creates an extra passing lane for the person he passes the ball to.
Yeah. He's Ruben.
I paid attention to that much. Yeah.
I think he's
Ruben 2.0.
I think he's better than Gallagher.
Let me quickly catch up. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat. I'll come back to the panel again. Yeah, again, this guy doesn't. The beautiful game doesn't allow me to host shows in peace without coming at something that will start making me not to be able to hold myself. I expect Havertz to start banging in at this time of the year, especially it's close to Halloween. Ghosting. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Coach says a Pulisic assist on the game winning again. Doesn't play for 2 games, so starts again and gets a goal and assist. Doesn't play. Maybe he needs to start underperforming. Maybe that gets him to play, because every other player that started ahead of him have put in some stinkers. Maybe he should start putting in some stinkers.
Seriously,
then
Coach
he gets
Chris
to play.
is right. Coach Chris is right. I mean, I don't get it either. I like the shoulder shrugs at the end. It's so true.
Mhm.
It's he. There's no defense, in my opinion, why
None.
he's not starting.
None.
I don't get it. And unless he's had some knocks and he's told the coach, you know what, I've got some knocks, but I can't see that happening. I see Pulisic as
if a knocks is the issue, he doesn't get to play at all. He doesn't look at.
Listen, I'm reaching here. I have no idea. It's inexplicable to me.
Mm.
And I'm not saying this because he's an American. I'm saying this based on what I see on the pitch historically.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's as simple as that. I don't get it.
Yeah, again, Roger. Okay, Roger has a question for someone. Again, that you two should communicate privately, maybe, or wherever you want to. Again, I've read that one. Again, I pointed it out, Coach. Okay, I says again, why don't we play again a through balls for our strikers? Again, there were so many times we had again space for the forwards pass, and we went to the wings. It's something again. We did quite a lot under Thomas Tuchel, and it wouldn't just go away like this. Even though something in the sense again, the going sideways and backwards. Instead of playing through balls, we did that quite a lot under Thomas Tuchel. We opted for safer options under Thomas Tuchel because that's his approach. We're finding the perfect time to attack and all that.
We had less penetrating passes.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe that was down to again the players he had at his disposal again. But that's why again. Here's the thing. Again, I think we created some good chances to even from Jorginho, but those in the box weren't sure what to do with it.
They weren't on the same page. You could tell.
Yeah, they went on.
I remember there was this one. I believe it was when we were playing right to left. He put a ball into the box, the right-hand side of the box, and no one chased it. They're not on the same page, Coach, and that takes repetition in game time. You can't substitute that. It's simple as that. You can't blame Jorginho. You can't blame the people that are forward. It's simple as that. It takes time. But the lack of chemistry in forward passing compared to what United did, for instance, yesterday, or what Man City do week in, week out, it's quite worrisome, to be honest with you, because we looked very much like we have the last year and a half after Tuchel, and that's not a knock. It's just that we played safe. You could tell we were only playing for possession. Tuchel believes that if you have possession, they can't score. So,
which is very common with German coaches. Again, if you're watching...
And Italian too.
Yeah, and Italian. So if you haven't, please take a second to smash the like button. Again, just 28 likes. We should be doing better than that. Please, thank you so much. Again, big up, Coachella and Pana, big up to you too, Queen of the House. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. Again, smash the like button, people. Again, 28 likes. We should be doing better than that. Let's try to get it to 50 as soon as possible. Rodrigo, they've started a campaign of against you. Rodrigo out. I know he's joking. I know Rodrigo knows that too. Again, how are those players' ratings are predicted the same way with again Metacritic?
Look at them. Fried me.
I am really not sure. Let's see what we have here. You highlight again. You highlighted comment. Just we all again. TT has moved on. People, he has again. We're referencing him again. There's some stuff again. Residue of his reign. Usually, again, players take time to adapt to the new manager's approach. Usually, you still see bits and pieces of what was very common under the previous manager. Go ahead. Were you saying something?
It was basically what I'm alluding to. It was reminiscent of that era. That's all I'm trying to say.
It doesn't go away like that. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
I heard the Chelsea fans say we should hire Tuchel and fire him again.
Oh my god!
Yeah, to get the new manager bounce once again.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's the logic. Maybe to reinforce the new manager bounce. That will make a huge difference. Again, TT has moved on. Yes, I agree with you, Chama. Again, we created one clear-cut chance again, and the biggest mistake from that was Broja not doing again a simple pass onto Mount, which would have again resulted in a goal. And again, I'm not going to blame Broja too much. Again, more positives from his output yesterday than again. No, I'm not going to say anything is negative. Actually, he's still learning, and that comes with that again his age. Broja again gets the goal and turns to the wing. Again, to throw all the hate on Kai for yesterday's game is dumb. Nobody's throwing all the hate on him, but again, he was awful yesterday. I have to say that, and even I love him so much. And again, you can say I'm one of his lawyers because he has so many. Again, thank you so much for all the input there, Rodrigo. I wanted to ask you something else. Why do you think again we've suffered so much again a barrage of attacks or again on our defense? Would you say that it is a lack of a traditional DM?
Traditional DM. I don't think a traditional DM. What a traditional DM will offer us is at least an extra attacker.
No, it's just screaming. Maybe screaming screening the defense, so to speak.
Screen the defense, and obviously having the assurance that you have someone that if we lose the ball, will protect the defense or whatever. It's not going to be a one-on-one every time. But I failed to see how. I failed to see how a traditional DM. If we get a traditional DM, how will that make our attackers more?
And the spotter even play with one. We're not talking about the attacking area because the past two games. Again, our defense again was exposed too many times that we were lucky not to have considered a single goal from those two matches.
Lucky.
So maybe again a traditional DM who's able to read the game quite well. Well, again, you could say stop some of those plays that has led to our defenders facing those attacks.
No, a DM will help us in our defensive phase. I'm talking about when we're attacking. When we're on the edge of the box, how would it like so many times yesterday in the last 20 minutes of the game, we were literally on the edge of Brighton box. We couldn't find an opening. The Pulisic tried to dribble past people, but we just couldn't find a clever pass. We couldn't find something different. So in those instances, I don't know how a traditional DM help us. I feel like we need. I don't know if these players exist anymore. Players like your Mata, your David Silva, those sort of players. They're very.
If you're talking about again, I think you're going into players who are capable of orchestrating defense, splitting passes.
Yes.
With Fabregas and all of that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, even a Fabregas. Obviously, Fabregas does it from deep. But if you have someone that can do it high up the pitch, actually, there is a player. Mateus Nunes that went to Wolves. He's actually a very good player. I can't believe we didn't go for him. So
your uncle, who is the new owner of Chelsea Football Club, works with numbers, and the numbers didn't tell him Nunes was that good.
Yeah, so but Kovacic can do it, but I don't know. His final pass sometimes that he's just not there.
What do you think the issue with Kovacic is that he starts from deep because he's playing a hybrid of 8 and 6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he's not always close to the box. But I get your argument. Go ahead.
No, he's not. He's too deep.
It's too far. He's too deep. Actually, yeah. I mean, even yesterday, he's the one that created that 1v1 that Broja had, and he's the one. And you can see, I've noticed something. Most of the passes from Jorginho and Kovacic are more vertical now. I can see there's something that's changing.
The overall team.
Yes.
Yeah. Changing, but obviously it will take time. It will take. So I'm not gonna judge Portland in these run of games, because these run of games is all about surviving. It's about getting a point, move to the next one. Getting a point, move to the next one. Because after the World Cup, because he's gonna have a winter break, he can then work on tactics. Yeah. And
Yeah,
also,
again, go ahead.
with the traditional DM thing, well, that will help us. Obviously, help us have an extra midfielder, an extra attacker, and help us to play in a back four. Again, in a back four, depend on if Silva. That depend on Silva as well. I don't think we can play Thiago Silva in a back four. We can if you have a DM that can cover for him as well, I guess.
Yeah, again, those CB ratings are definitely not right. I think those ratings are based off of primarily they did well in terms of ball playing. In terms of ball playing and playing out from the back, our defense did well. But it had it based if he was based solemnly on that what they did defensively yesterday, I think it would have been something 5 point or 6 point. But again, it was good to watch playing out from the back, passing and all that. Defensively, a lot of issues there. But correct me if I'm wrong. Koulibaly was being caught out all the time. I think his application the way maybe probably all comes down to what the manager wanted him to do. I think he did more going forward than he did defensively, but we're able to still see what he can do as a defender. Did we even speak about the referee? We'll get to it in a bit. My goodness, didn't they turn off the VA and pretend that a check was taking place? Why shouldn't I, as a TV spectator, be so confused with what the referee did? I think the referee was awful, really. Again, I don't think Broja should be blamed. Nobody has blamed Broja here. It was his first start, probably a bit nervous and probably eager to do too much. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Now, this one says, whenever Kovacic is close to the box, those passes are going 100 miles per hour, and the attacker isn't expecting it at all. You could argue that too. Please keep liking the stream. We have 31 likes. We should be way better than that at this point. We need, a locksmith. We need one-on-one king also. Again, Hazard was both. You could argue that. Again, a sub again saying hello to each other. Again, Zakaria is a Chelsea pensioner at this point. Again, he's just getting dressed up for the game, earning his pay. Yeah, so it makes sense to call it. But there's still time. I think it's going to be needed. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
I was about to say he has the best season ticket.
Be nice, man. He gets to sit with the team and watch the game from there. But that's, by the way, Rodrigo, your thoughts on the referee. Should we have really had a penalty?
Yeah, well, the second one, the corner in the last minute. At first, I thought, maybe it'd be too harsh. But when you watch it again,
no,
I think if a Chelsea player was closer to was attacking the ball, maybe they would have given it. But no Chelsea player attacking the ball. I mean, closer to the Brentford player. Do you know what I mean? If a Chelsea player was about to win that ball, and then the Brentford player diverted the ball with his hand, like the way he did, I think we would have got a penalty. But because I don't know who was closer to him. He wasn't close enough. He wasn't attacking the ball close enough. So I don't think the ref saw that as what's the word? As a handball that prevented a goal scoring opportunity. Another one, I think the red card on Ben Mee. I thought that was a red. I thought if Broja stayed down, I think we got.
Because he was the last man. But even at that, let me ask. Maybe I don't understand the rule quite well. Since it turned out it wasn't a goal, shouldn't he at least get? They should have looked at it still.
They should have looked at it. I think they should have looked at it. They probably say it wasn't a foul because Broja, being too honest, stood up and tried to win the ball again.
Or inexperience, maybe.
Inexperience, exactly. So that in that position, you have a striker like a Diego Costa or I don't know, even Aubameyang. They're staying down. They're staying down. Yeah, but then again, I could win it. I could score the goal. But not thinking in what if I don't? Then if the defender recovers, maybe.
But that's kind of refreshing, though. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's refreshing. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
As fans, in the spirit of the game, we want to see that. Honest player.
Do.
Yeah,
I do.
But I mean, the way the referees are doing these days, he force players to to do cheeky stuff like that, to stay on the ground, to pretend you're
To
injured,
dive.
to dive. But I think the handball, I think that could have been given if a Chelsea player was attacking and
Are you referring to the corner where the defender's arms are
They
in an
didn't even look
unnatural
at it.
position?
Yeah, that one.
It was an unnatural position. Actually, I just saw a penalty last weekend given for the very same motion.
Wow.
I don't get it. There's no continuity with these VAR people.
No, there's not.
none.
Even the first call for penalty, I think it was a push. Who was that in the box? It was a push because he was in motion. I think it was either against Broja. And because, again, because he was in motion, the slightest of touch behind him is enough to bring him down. And you know what? I think the rules are everywhere. Nothing definite,
All I have to
really.
say is that Coca-Cola, when he was pulled down by Spurs by his hair, if you don't see that as a penalty, you shouldn't be on VAR. There's so much. Who was it that was mentioning it a couple of months ago, where they believe that they should have former players on the VAR panel because the way these referees are viewing stuff, I don't know. I have.
I wouldn't have. Sorry, Roger. I wouldn't have former players. You need some people, some impartial. Imagine you have on a Chelsea game, you have a former
Man U,
former
Man U.
former United player sitting on. No, that's a bad idea.
But did you understand though? It's like when you're on VAR and you don't see anything wrong with that player being pulled down by his hair, then what are you looking at? What are you actually there for? I have no problem with the ref not seeing it. His eyes could be diverted somewhere else, so that's okay. But when you have a video assistant referee that can real time have 5 or 6 different camera angles within a few seconds to view that, and you don't deem that as a foul, and there are other instances, obviously. I'm just saying then, I don't think, with all due respect, you're fit to be a VAR ref. I really don't.
Yeah, again, we keep laughing, just we all are here. Again, we seriously need to sign...
That's funny.
We seriously need to sign a referee in January. The rest of the top 6 have won, and we don't. As much as this is a joke, I think it just makes you realize we've never been lucky with referees, really. Again, even if we have, it's been on occasions, sporadically. They don't go our way. The referee decisions don't go our way usually. I don't even know whether VAR had a look at again. I don't think they did. Even if they did, they just with it on and say, just go ahead. After all, it's Chelsea, if you ask me. Before I realized the final whistle was blown, they didn't look at it, and I think they should have. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too, bro. I hope you're doing well. Again, we have one. Anthony was assigned to us, but apparently he's a bad player. So clearly, let me just say that. I remember United being given a pen after the final whistle. Yeah, it's Chelsea, so it's different.
Yeah.
So, bro, go ahead.
I want to say something. I forgot. What's that famous company that does the stats for most sports like golf and Premier League? And in fact, Man United. I forgot. Hello.
Opta.
Yes, Opta. I think it was a company of that ill repute was basically did a survey where United, I think about a decade ago, could have been longer, that when they were leading, they got the shortest amount of extra time added on in the game, and when they were losing, they were given the greatest amount of extra time added on to the game. Five consecutive seasons in a row where no other of the top 5 leagues, so the 4 remaining, had won. It was the impartiality with United is scary, and that's from a credible statistical company.
Here's the thing: the truth remains. There's really a chance that it's a subconscious thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, which they're not doing anything to address, because that can happen too.
Yeah, of course.
Broja was good yesterday on Southwest because he could have had put in an assist also. Well, it's the same thing, but I'm not going to blame him too much. Boy, again, he plays for Liverpool, sometimes on loan to United. I understand that quite well. Let's look at the statistics. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
No, I just think Broja, he was being a little bit naive. A seasoned vet like Acosta, he's going down and he's staying down and he's rolling around.
Even Aubameyang would go down.
Yes, that these kind of seasoned vets, that they know, they sense, they have spatial awareness to know what's transpiring here, and they would force the ref to make a split-second decision.
Yeah, because in that instance, even if there's more chance, because if you stay down, if you get up, there's a chance the defender will recover. So the chance of you scoring is lower. So if you stay down, you get a defender sent off, you have the man advantage.
Yes.
But
as I said, it's refreshing, though. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. Do I prefer the 3 points? Of course I do. But I like the fact that he's naive and he's honest. And I want that in the game. I really do.
Yeah, but sometimes he was fouled, really. But sometimes,
you
have to be the one again. You have to be one to tell the ref with your behavior by saying that I want this as a red card and a free kick. But again,
Coach, if you've viewed some games in the 1960s being played, it looks like it's nothing like the game we see today, the physicality. When you see a player being fouled, they both stand up and they shake hands like it's Queen Victoria's time. The game has progressed and it's become, with all due respect, quite dirty nowadays.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That period that you're talking about, you can actually come onto the field with a machete at somebody's leg, and game will still continue. But I think safety of the players first. Again, even the game has progressed.
Yeah,
again, a little less,
but it's too cynical nowadays.
Yeah, really but a little less, more again, a little less again. Physical. The ball also has changed over time because of head injuries and all that, concussion and all that. So again, it's good progress overall. We don't want it to be. We don't want it to be a battle, but I get your point. It's a contact game. So maybe we should go back a bit to make it that. But I don't want to see anybody break their leg.
No. You're talking about the 1980s. That's a joke. That was anything went in those days. In the 70s.
Yeah. So ex-ref Mark Hasley tweeted that again. It instructed them to give a certain. That's the PGMOL instructed them to give a certain amount of pens, free kicks, etc. He also said again that he wouldn't be surprised if the FA ended up in court one day. So it just makes sense again, which means that just like police, they say, okay, we need to raise like $300. So again, the officers will just go out and give out more tickets to get that amount.
They have targets.
Exactly. They have targets. Yeah. So again, it just that needs to change. Again, if you're watching 36 likes, we should be doing better than that. I strongly believe we can still get it to 100 by the time the show ends, but it's up to you. Please keep liking the video if you haven't. So let's look at the overall stats here. It's important that we do, again, why isn't this scrolling down?
By the way, Coach, there wasn't one yellow card given out yesterday. It was actually a tough but fair game, I thought, by both parties. I thought.
Did you say there wasn't a single yellow card given out?
I don't believe. I didn't see the ref pulling out a card, did he?
I don't remember, really.
I don't remember a card being pulled out. But I thought the game was played quite aggressively, but it was quite clean also for the most part. I thought it was a good game for a derby. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah, it flowed well, but again, a lot of, you can say a few, a handful of poor decisions from the referee, and I didn't think he did well.
See, I don't blame the ref. See, I actually thought the ref had a good game. It's the people that are the VAR staff, that they are the ones that have the ability to bring it to the attention of the referee on the pitch that you've missed something.
Here's something else. How about, again, the argument that our players didn't really question the referee? Because there's a way you come close to him, the captain especially, talk with him, he'd go check it. He'd go check it. Even those those assistants behind the VAR didn't say anything. The captain, if you speak up, again, he go check it. He'd be forced to. But we didn't see that from our player. We didn't really push for it.
Well, Asby. No, I don't think
Did
that really
Rodrigo?
works,
Did
though.
we really push for it?
No.
Yeah. So
I
that's
thought
another
the
thing
one
we'll
in the
have to
last
talk
minute.
about.
I thought in the last minute, I thought he nearly gave a penalty, and then he blew the final whistle. I was like, come on.
Yeah. But you know
Yeah,
what, though?
okay.
I'll be honest with you, and unbiased. Just being, if I was a neutral, which I'm obviously not, I thought both teams
No, I think
deserved
you
a
are.
point. I think it was a fair result. If anything, they may have actually had. I thought, because of the fact that our keeper was man of the match, if anything, we were fortuitous enough that they didn't come away with 3 points. Just being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth. Again, we're fortunate. Again, we cannot deny the fact that Kepa, at least on 3 occasions, has had made sure we didn't lose a game. I have to be really honest, no matter how we see it. Again, I can't just be going about saying 7 clean sheets and all that. Yeah,
left the cards
yeah, exactly. The law of averages caught up with the cats. What were you saying, Roger?
No, just the ref left the cards in the dressing room. That's funny.
Oh yeah, I didn't see. Oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, maybe that was the case again. But it should have cautioned a few players. That happened. Our players need to roll on the floor again. So many times, Brentford players acted like they were injured. One Brentford player even pretended the ball hit him again. Yeah, exactly.
Baptiste.
Yeah, but that shouldn't hurt him one bit. I think that's just they were just finding means to delay.
He got winded. It hit him right in the ribs. You know, you.
Now let's go ahead.
I want us to see us play with integrity. I really do. Call me old-fashioned, but that's how I want to see the game played.
No, I understand where you're coming from. In terms of, I seriously do understand where you're coming from. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't taken a second to like the stream, 37 likes. Let's try and get it to at least 50 by the time the show ends. Thank you so much. So now, Rodrigo, again, before you see this, do you think, again, we should have won that game? Do you think we did enough to win that game? Or do you think Brentford who do you think deserved to win that game, if any?
On the amount of clear-cut chances, Brentford should have at least score in this game. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think just a bit, it goes to Brentford a little bit. I think in the second half, especially towards the end, I think we came into the game, we grew into the game, and overall, on the balance of play, a draw is a fair result. But Brentford deserved more, I say, from the chances that they had, yeah.
I thought the difference in the game was our bench.
Yes. Yeah. When Brentford were making changes, when they took off, what's the guy? Ivan Toney's partner.
Yeah, Mbembo.
Yeah, when they took him off, I was so happy. And then when they took off Onyeka, I was like, brilliant. Because when they were making changes, they were weakening their team. So I was like, oh.
Yes. And this is why, even though it's highly advantageous to the big 6, the top 6, I think it's unfair to have 5 substitutes. It really does give advantages to the more richer clubs, the bigger clubs, which let's be honest and impartial here. It's not fair to the bottom, let's say 12, 14 teams. It really isn't. It's unjust in that regard because they don't have the finances to compete with the United, with the Chelsea, etc., etc. So it actually gives us an advantage. However, I'll take it, but I just think, to be honestly impartial, that it's not fair having 5 subs. I'm being honest.
So here's the thing here. Again, the top stars here. Rodrigo, were you going to say something?
No, it's fine. No, I agree with him.
Yeah. Okay. If we're looking at the numbers here, yes, we improved, and total shots from us grew again to 14. In the first half, they had more shots than we did. But there are other important aspects of the game, numbers of the game. Then when you look at it, you'd see actually they deserved to win this game. Expected goals 1.25 of 0.86. Total shots 8. Again, that's down to our second half performance, especially towards the end of the game. Again, big chances. 1 out of theirs that was 3. Big chances missed. They missed 3. We missed 1. accurate passes. This to me again. I even though I enjoy us dominating the game by having more of the ball, to me it's become irrelevant over time. The more you understand the game, the more you can see. Yeah, as much as this is important, in some cases it doesn't really matter. This one again, a fouls committed seven. Again, that's even. Offsides, 2 corner kicks. They had 6 corner kicks.
Yeah,
and we had 2.
Corner came in the 75th minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is telling. Coach,
which is really telling.
What was our big opportunity miss? Was that the Broja pass across the goal line where?
I think that's one.
It has to be, I think, right?
Yeah, it has to be that one. Rodrigo, what do you think?
Yeah, it has to be. He has to be
because that's the most clear-cut chance we created yesterday.
I don't know. Chukwuemeka had a great shot on target, and I thought the keeper just barely got a leg to it.
Yeah.
Had it been
it went beyond. He was lucky, really, to have stopped it.
Yeah, because had it gone a little bit left, it would have gone between his legs. There's no way he's stopping that because of the ferocity. I thought that was a clear cut. I was so impressed with him. That's my number one takeaway from that game. Well, there was 2, Kepa and Chukwuemeka. I thought.
Yeah, he made a huge difference. His overall play.
Do you know? The first time the first minute or 2, he was on the pitch. He made that long run from deep in our half all the way to nearly their penalty box, and I was like, wow. Please score. I mean, it was an impressive run.
Yeah.
His speed and the way he controlled the ball on that run, he impressed me. My eyes opened wide open from that run.
Yeah, he has a very good close control.
Yeah, and he has all the dimensions, all the criteria that is required. Speed, strength, height. He's very good on both feet also. Yeah. I mean, he's the package.
Another player that remind me of is Paul Pogba. The Pogba of Juve.
But you can say he's more agile than Pogba, though.
Minus
no,
Pogba of Juve,
not the Pogba, not the witchcraft Pogba now. I'm talking about.
Yeah, that story. It's a hilarious one. I don't want to talk about it.
Did you watch Chukwuemeka play for the under-19s or the under-21s last year? Or was it this year? It's he was a man playing amongst boys.
Yeah, his intelligence overall, again, on the pitch is something. Yeah, I enjoyed. Again, he was good to watch, and I'm glad he came in the 64th minute again, 62nd minute. I think this is a sign he gets to start very soon. Broja starts. Sorry,
I hope so.
Yeah, I think we'd see him soon because the games are coming in thick and fast. I understand you want us to play with integrity, but we deserve proper refereeing and application of the law. So if not, again, we find a way to get things to go our way. I get your argument there. Not for a referee to determine that the challenge was not hard enough. Again, I said when we signed him, Chukwuemeka reminds me of a young Pogba, but Pogba has never always, again, as much as he was good then, I think they differ a bit in the sense you could say Chukwuemeka is more agile. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Again, Chuchu was impressive. Yes, he was. A good performance for him overall. I think we should get into the rating right now and again, round off as soon as possible and call it a day. We start again. This is, I'm assuming, did I miss anybody here? Kovacic, no need. I don't think there's any need leaving Gallagher there. Kukure here, RSC here, Havertz, Mount, maybe the other way around. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter, really. Broja essentially there. Again, Rodrigo, maybe now you get to talk about Kepa Arrizabalaga as much as you want. Your thoughts on his performance yesterday.
Man of the match for Chelsea. And it's funny
that's how many games in a row now.
Two games in a row. It's funny the Brentford match said both times we went to actually 3 times we went to their stadium. Our goalkeeper has been man of the match. 2 of those times has been Kepa. Did Kepa play in the League Cup game in December last year? We won 2-0 there. So I think again.
No, League Cup game was all his games all through. I think so.
Yeah, I think Kepa played. He played that game.
Yeah.
He was in December. Remember, we had to play the kids at Brentford. We beat them. It was interesting. Yeah. So at least Tuchel did something right. Yeah. So
wow.
Do you really have to say that, Rodrigo?
No,
Do you really move on?
Cold.
at least took one at Brentford. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man of the match. He get. I don't think I don't think us in this game anyone deserve a 10 or even an. I give him an 8.5. It's one of those games. It's hard to give someone a 9. Like, come on.
What do you think, really? Let's just quickly. What do you think about the call? I think one of the pundits are saying he was at fault. About Kepa Arrizabalaga saying he was at fault. You know that one that he was off his line and too close.
Yeah,
I think I don't know if it was Ivan Toney too close to him. What do you think? Was he really at fault for you in that case?
Actually, I think no. He anticipated that because what if the defender didn't win the header when he came in and punched the ball? No,
not really that one. There was one.
No.
I was talking about. He stopped point blank header. He was too close. That all the guy had to do was to try to lob it above him. But again, he read it so well. I think for me, him being that close was the reason why Tony didn't get the chance to decide whether to go left or right. He had to decide quickly to try to lob it over him, but he couldn't. I just don't understand why they're blaming him for that.
Commentary from a non-keeper. Like when you see an amazing save, but unfortunately, whether the keeper palms it straight into the direction of an opposing attack, he should have palmed it away. Like that ball is coming at you at so many miles per hour. Obviously, that commentator has never played the position. I see and hear that so often. I'm like, really? It's preponderous. It really is.
It is. Let me quickly catch up with the chat here again. Chichi was impressive. Yes, he was. Again, long may Kepa's form again continue. As much as I want Mendy to look at it again, do some self-assessment, and then solve his problems so we can, whenever, if anything happens to Kepa, he comes in and is ready to perform at such a high level too, with such concentration. Because wow, Mendy saw Kepa's saves, and he must be worried. Mendy scored again. Mendy scored for Brentford in this picture. I don't remember that quite well, but I get it. He's made quite a lot of mistakes. But here's the thing: he's equipped enough. Mendy is equipped enough to do even better than Kepa, and I want that competition. I don't subscribe to that idea that you have number one first choice goalkeeper, then you have again a starting goalkeeper, and you have second choice, and no matter what happened, the first choice keeps his place. That was the argument when we were actually seriously arguing that Mendy should taste the bench for a while. It will help him. And again, I think now he'd be if he's smart enough, he should be working on his deficiencies. I cannot believe there are people blaming the midfield for our attackers not being creative. I'm sure maybe you're not talking about the panelists here. We haven't done that. We're just saying again the issue. What the most argument we heard here is that the issue with that defense, again, some of it part of lack of proper protection from the midfield, plus the defense having issues because of Koulibaly starting on the left instead of starting centrally because he's more equipped than Chalobah is to lead the back line comfortably. Yes, the attackers, they were awful, but I get your argument. Again, that pundit is biased, man. I'm not going to spend my time in it. Apparently, a defensive duo is meant to score more than
Cone-like. I love it.
Well, no, I couldn't like attackers. That's why I love this show, man. Again, a tremendous comment. Yeah, exactly. Kepa's reading of the game is a tremendous. Exactly. He doesn't get enough credit for that part of his game. His ability, Kepa's ability to read the game is the reason why, if by any chance, because whether we're paying attention or not, we play a high line. Play a high line. So whenever the ball goes beyond our last man again, defensive line, he's always off his line, and the timing is usually almost always perfect.
Do you see the Brentford player try to lob him from
yes, and he read it so well. And here's the thing again, he doesn't. Again, I agree with you, Mario. And again, I hope you're doing better. You told us yesterday. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you contracted the dreaded C word. I hope you're recovering better. I did pray for you, and I have to be honest about that. So thank you for finding the time to join. Yes, of course, he doesn't get that much credit for his ability to read the game. But again, nobody takes away his performance from him. So thank you for finding the time to join. Kachila Kepa deserves a 10 out of 10. He's the, again, one is I've never seen any player get 10 out of 10, so that's why I left that out. But I should have had 9 points. There again, have you ever seen Kepa doing on-field coaching? Quite a lot. I think you can say I was one of the first that noticed it, because the birthday video I did for him, I said we've seen that you have some leadership, you have leadership quality in you, and long may that continue. And boy, I think that makes him an even better goalkeeper. Wow, Kachila lights up when Kepa is. Oh yeah, thank you for paying attention to that. Again, that doesn't mean I hate Mendy, and I'm sure you're well acquainted with my argument with Mendy and how Thomas Tuchel handled the selection then, but I'm not going to talk about that. Havertz should have again taken a shot, a shoot one time. Again, he got his chance.
Right.
Instead, he controls and loses the chance. And his dribble these days, again, maybe not in this game. Maybe was it against Aston Villa? Was just so casual about it. Like he thinks if he moves the ball to the left, that's enough to dribble a player, or to the right. But I'm not going to get into that. I still believe in him. Hopefully that changes. But go ahead if anybody else want to say anything about Kepa.
My only critique of Kepa is several times when he's come to punch the ball, he doesn't punch it far enough. That's being petty. But I think he has warranted a 9 out of 10 the last 2 matches. I believe he's been our best player regarding his position, or irregardless of his position, irrespective. I think he's been solid. He's shown maturity. Yeah. He's a solid keeper. We are blessed to have 2, shall I say, top-notch shot stoppers. It's as simple as that. Do they have their weaknesses? Yes, but I don't believe there's another club in the Premier League that have 2 first starting keepers. So we have depth. And
do you have anything to say to that? You think Roger was the pundit that said it was his fault?
No, definitely not. It's Kepa's fault.
No way.
No way.
Roger, you just said that.
No, I did. What?
You nearly. Maybe what you're saying is close to it. His punching.
No. I'm talking about when he came out to punch the ball. That's what I've noticed in the Villa game. He punches the ball, but it doesn't go exceptionally far, compared to other keepers I've seen.
Okay, so he needs to punch it even more. Maybe he needs to do more push-ups, get enough muscle too.
And he can learn by watching you.
Go ahead, Rodrigo.
You want to go there?
Roger said the other day, if we reach 100 likes, I'll do a push-up. And I told him I can't move my camera. I can't move my camera to show them where I'm doing the push-up. Go ahead, Rodrigo. You were saying something, brother.
No, I was going to move to another player. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can start with Aspie if you want to.
Yeah, I'll start with Aspie. Again, I feel like Aspie should have played as right back. So we play in a back 4 but I guess the only thing that stood out, the only mistake that stood out is when he didn't time his jump properly. That could have been costly, actually, if he didn't do that.
Yeah. And he turned around. Who was he looking to deal with it?
Yeah, he was looking. I don't know who he was looking.
I couldn't believe that, really.
I was like, well, come on, man. Yeah, apart from that, actually, Aspie was all right, wasn't it? Apart from that, I don't remember him. Oh, the few times he crosses or he's reluctant to put the ball in the box. And Brentford have conceded the most goals from crosses and set pieces.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's very.
But we didn't exploit that properly. That's what you're saying. Go ahead.
You could see every time we created an overload on the right between him and Loftus-Cheek, they were really reluctant to cross the ball, especially Loftus-Cheek. Aspie did it in the first half, but again, he didn't do enough. He put one great ball for Broja. Broja just missed it. So overall, I give Aspie, because he didn't do anything really bad. So I give him a 6.5. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't think these defenders they deserve. They don't deserve anything good in terms of, from seeing things from a defensive aspect of the whole thing. They were poor, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And here again, I'm going to come to you a bit, Richard. Again, thanks for again a little better. Still have some symptoms, but not as bad as yesterday. Thanks for the prayers. Again, you're very welcome, brother. Again, I'm glad that again it has subsided, and I hope it continues to subside, and you feel much much better. Any news on Gallagher? Again, he felt sick. Again, I think wasn't able to continue.
Yeah.
It's as long as it's just that he was sick. I think.
Probably
I think he'd be fine. Again, it just Go ahead. Were you saying something, Rodrigo?
Probably wanted to go to the loo, innit?
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't want to.
Okay, if you get 500 likes one of these days, again, you know what time it is, Coach. Yeah, I agree. I'll get 2 cameras. I'll save one for the push-up. So once we get to that 500, I think the most we've done is 300 plus, and that was during the transfer window. But again, after the transfer window, 300 plus, it has dropped really. Again, and that's natural. And again, until the channel gets to around 10,000 plus subscribers, while 6,000 plus now getting to 7,000. At the end of the day, you can say on a given day you get like at least 100 likes. But we're getting there. We're doing quite well. Again, I know. I just write it down. Aspie wasn't very effective in the attacking phase. Again, same thing defensively. But I think those people that rated them, those that do the rating here, I think they paid attention so much to their ball, the ball playing ability of our defense, rather than them doing their work defensively. That's what I think. But that's by the way again. So Roger, over to you. What do you think about Cesar Azpilicueta, his overall performance yesterday?
Yeah, I pretty much concur with Rodrigo. I thought a 6.5. I thought he was average. He's for his leadership skills and for his experience, he does read the game rather well. He did mistime that jump, Other than that, I don't think he didn't have a great day, but he didn't have a poor day. I thought he was average.
Yeah, I just wish I could vote. And you know what the chat does? We'll take our time, analyze the game, come to the conclusion, and then boom, the chat thinks he gets 7.5. Oh my! But let's just give him 7.5 anyway. Roger, your thoughts on Chalobah. Have we done Chalobah? We haven't actually.
No.
Your rating on Chalobah, and again, that's why every time we do a predicted lineup exercise, I have my own lineup that I do differently. And the only thing I got wrong was Christian Pulisic not starting yesterday. But that's by the way again. Okay, I'm gonna wait a bit. Maybe the chat will prove me wrong. I'm gonna wait a bit. But while I wait for those, your thoughts on Chalobah again, Roger?
I thought he was really solid. I'm impressed with him each time I watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we bought Fofana for 70 mil, give or take, and I'm wondering what he would get. I like him a lot. I really do. I would give him. I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he was bad. I thought that actually collectively the backline was average, but I would give him a minimum of a 7. I like him. I think he's got a bright future. I really do. I thought he played quite well.
Okay, Rodrigo, your thoughts on Chalobah?
Yeah, I agree. It was good, but the only thing with Chalobah, the thing that I noticed is distribution. Because when you're playing that central back, you need to be comfortable both with your right and left foot. I feel like he's more comfortable with his right foot, so that's why you could see times where maybe because we see that a lot. Obviously, we see that from Thiago Silva and a bit from Koulibaly. The line break passes when you're that middle centre back, you're almost like a quarterback. So you're the one that sometimes that initiate attacks by breaking the line or by finding the full backs and so on. He didn't do that enough. Again, I think what he did really well, he kept Ivan Toney quiet for some time in the game. He won his headers. He won his tackles, most of his tackles. And so for that, he was the best of the back three. So I agree. I give him a 7 as well.
Yeah, maybe add like 5 to it because there's this superstitious statistics going around that we
Yeah,
haven't lost a single
I
game.
don't want. I don't want people to keep bringing that up. I don't. I hate all that. I hate it. Don't.
Oh my goodness! And I'm surprised you didn't say I'm going to jinx it now.
Yeah, the media hasn't brought it up yet. I haven't heard it in a game yet. I hate it. I hate when they talk about things like that. Let the guy leave, man. Let him be. Yeah, I still think Chalobah is a better centre back on either side. I haven't seen him enough on the left. I've never seen him on the left.
He's
I've
once done it
better
under Thomas Tuchel, and he did well.
Yeah. You know when we played Brentford last year, that 1-0 win. I know it was Malangsa, Chalobah, and Aspie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Oh yeah, I think it was. I think it was Aspie. Yeah, he's had another brilliant game at Brentford, and I think he played in the middle that day. I'm gonna actually check.
So your rating, you said 7, you're not considering adding 5 on top of it because of the specific superstitious.
Yeah, 7.5. 7.5. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we have here again. You can see again that age is really not working for him. Silva needs to again give him some of the secrets. Who you referring to? Suzas Blaqueta, I'm guessing. Okay, he says yeah. Okay, Aspie was very again effective in the attack yesterday. Again, even again the shot he took should have been a pass. That wasn't or was not very okay. Again, you can see H again. I've read that one too. Tuchel tactics are bad. Here's somebody else, Luis Garcia. He hasn't moved on from Thomas Tuchel, and we'll still come to some of those videos and comment. Even if Zidane starts under Tuchel, he plays in the right wing back position. I don't know, but again, Luis Garcia, thank you so much for joining the conversation. I appreciate that. We're nearing 40 likes. Okay, let's try to get it as up to 50 as soon as possible. Chalobah was brilliant yesterday. He deserves 8.5 out of, again, a 10 performance. No, I don't think so, really. If we're rating all of our defenders based on their defensive, again, work yesterday, they'd all be 6.5. I think, again, we didn't do well defensively, especially in the first 20 to 25 minutes. Again, we are unbeaten in all games. Trevor Chalobah has started 30 games. That was what I saw, actually, before I started saying, wouldn't you consider adding 5 to that rating? But oh my goodness, that's hilarious, really. And Chalobah was involved in a lot of tackles. Again, that if he misjudges again his tackle, it would have been a goal. Chalobah is currently doing it way better than Tomori. I'm not going to go to the extent of compare him with Tomori. They're both two different type of players overall. Tomori is actually can actually lead at the back, lead centrally. Ampadu can lead centrally, but I don't think Chalobah can lead. Chalobah is better off again playing on the right hand side. But what I want to say right now to everybody's hearing is that defensively I think it's better than Fofana. While ball carrying ability and all that, Fofana may be a little bit better. But let me watch more. I can conclude again conclusively, maybe, if that's even makes sense. Again, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow and continue to bring us all the transfer news and great pre-game and post-game reviews. Yes, again, we've been growing, and then the good thing is that everybody contributes. It's not about the panelists alone. That's why every show on Chelsea Perspective and Soccer Perspective are all very delicious to be part of. Roger, have you talked about Chalobah already?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
How soon they forget.
Oh, so 7.4, and I intentionally again. That's not. I don't think I'm fair there, but I'll give him 7.4 because they had to pick from the options they have. Before we talk about Koulibaly, I'd like us to really look at his numbers here. I think again, you can say we just saw something. There's something Glenn sent to me. I really want us to look at before we do that. Just give me a second. I'll open it. You can Roger. You can go ahead and talk about Koulibaly's performance yesterday and how you think he's adapted. But to me, there's an argument people made before that he was struggling to cope with the pace of the Premier League, and I said no. I didn't think that was the case. I think the case was just the lack of proper coordination and communication, or again, lack of proper chemistry in the back line was what made it seem as if he was struggling to cope. I didn't think that was the case. But again, we all see things from different lenses. But your thoughts on Koulibaly's performance yesterday?
I thought he was solid. I know there was one play where the ball went through his legs, and it was the very beginning of the game. That was
and you had to highlight that.
No, I'm just being honest. Listen, I'm what do I think? Excuse me, I apologize.
You're good, bro.
Listen, he's I would say I would give him a 7. He wasn't particularly poor. He wasn't particularly great. I thought the whole back line was average at best. But you've got to give them. Listen, in conjunction with the goalkeeper, they did play and they did not concede. They played well and they did not concede. This is the most important thing. Yes, did they allow opportunities for Brentford to score? Yes, they did. However, did they score? No. So, it's collective. The line and the goalkeeper, they play as a unit. So I would like to, and as I've said before, I believe it's a knock-on effect, a domino. It starts from the forwards to the midfield to the defensive line to the keeper. As simple as that. I believe they're not getting the protection that they require. So I think for the most part, a lot of it is a reflection on other areas of the game. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, you can't expect 2 or 3 defensive players to play well when they're exposed, as they have been the past few games. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, we've been exposed. We have to recognize that again, and I think the issue, the reason behind that again lies again in the midfield area, lack of proper protection. That's how I see it. And I've learned also that again, Potter doesn't really play with traditional midfielders. The type of midfielders you'd expect to provide a proper protection for the defense. He rather structures the application, or you can say the blueprint to the application of the structure he deploys to make up for that deficiency from that midfield area, but it hasn't worked really for a while. Let's look at again Koulibaly's number before I go to I go to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, let's pay attention to this. And before I do that, there's something else I want us to see here. This is again, and I think that continued yesterday. It was Leanne Lane that shared these important numbers regarding Koulibaly's recent form and how well. Again, even before that, we knew that the teams, again, all the players on the team were playing more vertical passes than usual. And here it says that Koulibaly has completed the most progressive passes per 90 minutes of any Premier League centre-back this season, 5.81. And you could say that was one of the main reasons why Graham Potter deployed him on the left. So even if he ventures forward that much, there's less risk because Chalobah is playing centrally and it's more conserved. Again, should I say, conserved in his approach or reserved? Which one is a better word to represent what I'm trying to say? But I hope you understand my point. Now, I think you could say that continued too, because he did quite a lot of that yesterday. A 7.1 rating. And his 31 with all the running he did. And when we were seriously looking for goals, he was getting into the box too. But you can say, again, the link-up play was so poor that even when he made the runs, the individual with the ball didn't look up to try to find him. Accurate passes was 54 out of 62. That's below his standards that I've seen. Chances created 1. Expected assist 0.05. Fantasy points, and I'm not into that. If anybody wants that, touches 74 touches. Passes into the final third 13. The only person that had more yesterday, I think it was Jorginho. He had 17 overall, but this is high, really. Under Thomas Tuchel, we don't see that much number from a lot of people. Accurate crosses, 0 out of 1 attempt. Accurate long balls, 9 out of 14. That's not bad. Again, he did well. Tackles 1, 0 out of 2 attempts. Blocks 1. So defensively, he didn't do much, but attacking wise, I think he did better. Clearances 1, headed clearances 1, interceptions 2, recoveries 2, dribbled pass 1 time. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 4, 50%. Again, he usually has a higher number. Aerial duels 1, 0.2. So that brings to mind Rodgers' argument whether he's poor aerially. I don't think he is. Again, I still believe he does well. I think the whole team leads, and you can say where he played, and a bit of confusion in the defensive again area. So, Rodrigo, your thoughts on Koulibaly's performance yesterday? I think he was, again, I respectfully disagree with my friend Roger. I hope he doesn't get a kick out of me disagreeing with him. I think he was one of our best players yesterday, really. Rodrigo, your thoughts?
Yeah, he was just a bit better than Aspi. Not better than Chalobah. It was between Aspi and Chalobah. I feel like I really do think Koulibaly is not a left-sided centre-back in a back three. I really don't think he is. I think it should be... Yeah,
no, he's not really. I agree with that. I'm sorry, we're ganging up against you now, Roger. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
No, I don't.
Just let him drop, Rodrigo. You can let him drop, Roger. You can come in. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Sure.
Yeah, he has to play in the middle. He has to play in the middle centre back. He's basically Thiago Silva replacement. When Thiago Silva is not, he has to play as a middle centre back.
Centrally,
makes sense why we were looking at a left-sided centre back, Vardiol or whatever his name is. Yeah. So for the game yesterday, you know, the stats don't really tell the whole story, because when I was watching, I felt like Brentford didn't because Brentford are really good at corners, and I felt like Koulibaly was part of one of the reasons why we defended well on corners. I felt like he won a lot of the headers in to clear corners away, or maybe Brentford.
And numbers are saying otherwise now.
Yeah, they're saying only aerial duels 2 up, and then there's another. Even in the last, if you look at the last 20 minutes when we were defending, we were only defending with we literally had 2 defenders, and everyone was camped in Brentford attack. And
just go ahead. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
I remember him winning tackles in when Brentford were going on a counter attack. I remember twice. I think he won a tackle that actually launched a counter attack for us. So saying that, I feel like he was good, but obviously he tend to start games a bit slowly. Like if you notice his first 10 minutes in games, I don't know if he's nervous, but after that he grows into the game. Yeah, even yesterday I felt like he started a bit. It was a bit shaky, and then he grows into the game. So I think I'll give him a 7.
Okay, a 7 for you. How about you again? You wanted to say something again, Roger. What was that you wanted to say when Rodrigo was talking?
No.
No, I'm saying Roger wanted to say something when you were speaking.
I give Aspi 6.5, Chalobah 7.5.
Sorry, Roger, you wanted to say something?
Yeah,
Can you hear us?
Is it me or is it Rodrigo going in and out?
No, it's
I
you.
think you were in and out.
It's you.
Sorry.
No, I thought you wanted to say something before.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh my God! The Prime Minister resigned.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching it live.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
The new Prime Minister resigns.
Yeah, Liz Truss. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. It gets better.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. He's more suited to the middle, but I actually thought that he was going to be Rudiger's replacement on the left. I don't think he's played poorly in that. Is it noticeable that he's playing out of position? Not really, because he's very good on both feet. You know, he's quite ambidextrous in that regard. Where did he play in Italy? What was his most dominant position?
He was in
for Napoli. I don't remember, but I think he leads centrally too. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Back 4. So it was Napoli usually when he was there they played in the back 4. He was one of the
really?
2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Roger, while I'm with you, your thoughts on Cucurella?
Well, it was vast improvement over the Villa game, that's for sure. Couldn't get much worse than that. I thought he was okay. I just want to go back to Cucurella playing in a back three. I don't think he has the height for it. But then again, that Man United defender is shorter than him. But Cucurella, I thought, was okay. He was solid. He didn't stick out. He didn't have any glaring errors, but he didn't overly his crosses or anything like that. I thought he slowed down a few times, some of the plays. Maybe he's got a loss of confidence currently, but he was average to me. Not much to say about him, really.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch the game a second time
Yeah,
to
go
be
ahead.
more critical. I'd have to see the game a second time to be more critical of him or to be more in depth, really.
Wow, you're going to watch that game again?
Yeah, I watch virtually all the games twice.
Oh, my God.
I have to say this, really. To me, I think he was one of the better players defensively, actually, even though he was deployed further forward. He did quite a lot defending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah, for me, Cucurella is the definition of a left back. He's literally a left back. He's not a left wing back. He's not a left centre back. He's literally a left back. Very good defensively. Can overlap sometimes and put in some crosses, but he's not a left wing back.
So you mean in a back four? He's a
exactly. So to get the best out of Cucurella, you play in a back four, and he's your left back. It's that simple. You can actually see it when you play as a left wing back. You need to be really good at attacking the box. I don't think it is that good. I would say Marcos Alonso is probably better than Cucurella in the attacking phase. If you take Alonso.
By far.
Yeah, by far. If you take Alonso,
but what Cucurella will get you is that Cucurella is capable of creating more chances than Alonso.
Alonso.
I don't know about that.
Did you look at his numbers last season? Just look at his numbers. He got more balls into the box, close. I think more than KDB did. You need to research that. Sure. Probably because he played in a team where they don't have good enough players to always put away the chances. But go ahead anyway.
I feel like Alonso gives you a lot of goal threat. This is not an Alonso.
Yeah, I agree with that. But in terms of chance creation, I think Cucurella would do better.
Alonso led the Premier League in one season, in one calendar year, as the top scoring defender in the Premier League.
Yeah,
that's a different thing. But I'm saying, in terms of chance creation, I think you get that more from Cucurella. Goals more from Alonso.
That's why I say Cucurella is a very good left back. So if you play in a back four, I'd rather have Cucurella as a left back than Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell is not good defense. He's not as good defensively. That's why what's his name? Zaha in the Crystal Palace game, he switched and went to Ben Chilwell flank. If you have Cucurella playing there, you have a solid defender. So, and him playing as a left wing back, it doesn't give those penetrative run like the ones that Chilwell does. Because when he runs in attack, he runs with purpose. But obviously, Chilwell is not good when it comes to distribution, passing the ball.
What do you think of his crosses? How do you rate Cucurella's crosses?
Excellent. I rate his crosses. Whenever he adds pace to it for me.
Yeah, but yesterday he put one nice ball for Kai Havertz. I thought Havertz should have taken it first time. He controlled it and then the ball just went away from him. Yeah, I think that right now maybe it's a bit of maybe lacking confidence, maybe. But overall, I think in terms of rating, what was he gave Koulibaly 7.5? Wow, I give Cucurella because he didn't. I give him a stuff. Didn't really give us anything going forward, and actually he left Koulibaly exposed a few times, so I give him a 6.5 as well.
Mm-hmm. Here says Chalobah is going to be a legendary player of the beautiful game. He's going again to grow to be a GOAT. Okay, this was the same level of performance by Reece James that convinced me he's going to be there. I believe you. I have no need to doubt you. Koulibaly's performance wasn't great, but it was good. Again, I think Chalobah was our best player in the defense yesterday because, again, I say him again more crucial tackles. Chalobah saved Koulibaly yesterday. Yep, again, because he was beaten a few times on his side of the pitch, the left side of our defense. was the focal point of Brentford's attack yesterday. I agree with you, but that brings us back to the argument why Koulibaly could have done better centrally and Chalobah doing better on the right. But again, that would need a lot of adjustments on the positions of the personnel we had on the pitch yesterday. So I would just go with it. But again, once I saw the lineup, I knew it was going to end 0-0 until Pulisic or Oba comes on. Came on unlucky. They couldn't get it done, but they tried. Havertz needs to go back to Germany. He's literally getting work. Again, Cucurella and Koulibaly chemistry is not as good as Rudiger and Chilwell. They haven't played that long together, so that will happen over time. If Alonso had the pace Cucurella and Chilwell had, again, he would have scored more goals. That's how they differ. So again, Roger, have you rated Cucurella?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you go ahead.
I'd probably give him a 7.
Okay. Why do you think he deserves a 7?
Why?
You don't think he exposed Koulibaly a bit? You don't think he exposed Koulibaly a bit? He wasn't
I think the issue again. I think. Well, let me just shut up.
He was going forward quite a bit. So, what you tend to do that when you go forward, you expose the back. But
you could argue again, Koulibaly, the issues he had yesterday were his own creations due to him again moving too forward, and you could say not being cautious about that.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't stick out to me glaringly or positively. To be honest with you, I didn't pay that much attention to him. I was paying more attention to other players. But, it's an improvement over the previous game for sure. He was horrendous at Villa. So at least he had better spatial awareness, and he seemed to be, I don't know, he was lost in that game. He wasn't lost yesterday or last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
He didn't create too much either, to be honest with you. That's the thing that I've noticed going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. The jury's out on him. When he first started playing for us, I was quite impressed.
Yeah,
he's had a few faux pas since then. So I don't know. I'm a bit dubious about him, but I'm optimistic that he can turn it around. It's very early in the season, and it's very early in Potter's tenure. So there's a lot to come. So that's why you can't be too critical of any player at this juncture, actually.
No, I don't think we should. I think again, lack of consistent game time is also an issue. I think Cucurella isn't a bad player. We've seen that. We've seen what he's capable of doing.
But him and Chilwell are very different, though.
Yeah. Well, sorry, what did you say?
Did you notice in a game how many times Koulibaly had to step out in a back three to go with? Yeah, I think that's because of Cucurella.
Well, actually, but Rudiger used to do that often, if you noticed. Rudiger
Rudiger played a lot with Marcos Alonso.
Yeah.
And he had more work to do. Yeah.
He had a lot of work to do. Yeah.
But that's because the wing backs are asked to go forward more. That's why. But yeah, I did notice
look lost sometimes. It looks like a dick.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe he is better as a playing in the back four, like Alonso. But yeah, Koulibaly was noticeably getting tighter to people further up the field. More than I've ever seen him play since he's come to Chelsea. You're right about that.
And then I think that's where Coach, I think you mentioned this about Chalobah's leadership. Because if you have a Thiago Silva can shout at Koulibaly and say, "No, you don't have to go. You have to stay here." But obviously you have Chalobah. I don't know, maybe Chalobah sort of like see Koulibaly as a senior. You're not going to shout at Koulibaly and say, "Yo, you don't have to push up. You stay with me here." Do you know what I mean? So if you... Yeah, that's why the central centre back has to be someone that can command the back line. So, yeah.
Yep, again, 69 million for a left back. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Cucurella, a 6. He exposes Koulibaly too much, and Koulibaly himself wasn't he wasn't cautious with how much time he bumped forward. So yeah, but that's, by the way, I liked it again. But we have to find maybe not when Cucurella is on the pitch, because he got exposed on occasions, and we were lucky enough to have considered from those situations.
Not better.
Sorry.
Well, is not any better. If you,
Yeah, he's not any better indeed. So while I say with you, Rodrigo, I think, but just quickly before I do that, I think under Graham Potter, I think we're seeing it does look like we do better with the back four, a hybrid back four approach. Again, switching up the structure when we attack or when we defend. So your thoughts on Rodrigo, your rating for Jorginho?
Jorginho. He started again poorly, and then that's because we know what Jorginho, he can't play in a single pivot in this league. So again, I think the formation didn't help him. But after some time, I think we regained some control, especially in what Jorginho offers you is he'll control, slow the tempo of the game. So after the first 20 minutes, when Brentford were really pushing us because we're playing with a single pivot, and then when Kovacic came on and Jorginho, you could notice that the game slowed down, and then we had more control of the game. Yeah, because otherwise, Brentford were running through us like crazy. Yeah, that's because Jorginho can't play in a single pivot.
No way.
He can't do that. And obviously for Italy he does it, but here Jorginho works better in a midfield 3. Obviously when people are very close to him, or in the double. So
or with Kante.
or with Kante, yeah. Kante. Everyone works with Kante. So saying that, he didn't do. Oh, there's one delicious pass he put through over the top to
I forgot who that was on the right hand side.
On the right hand side was to Pulisic. That was really smart. But
I don't remember that. I'd have to.
Yeah, I remember that vividly. I think Pulisic tried to control it before he took the shot or so.
Yeah, it was in the second half. But apart from that, I think he did all right. He was an average performance. So same as Cucurella, I give him a 6.5.
And I think I'd give him a 6.5. Roger, your thoughts on Jorginho again? But Cucurella, just quickly, Cucurella, and again says Chukwuemeka looked great. I think he was brilliant. He showed what the player he would be for us. But I also want the introduction to be gradual. He played like nearly 30 minutes yesterday. So I think soon he gets a chance to start, even in the Premier League. I wasn't expecting to play that much minutes in the Premier League, but that shows you Potter trusts him. And he made a whole lot of difference. He changed. He was one of those that changed the game for us. But Cucurella and Chilwell need to try improve their weak foot again, because Cucurella could have scored if he was again a two-footed because there was a chance in the second half that in which that skills again was needed. Talking to Coach Chris. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Roger. Your rating for Jorginho.
Yeah, I give him a 6.5.
Okay.
I thought it was a bit unfair for him to be put in that position in the first place, to be honest with you. It's something that he's not suited for. So you can't blame him for that, But as the game progressed, especially in the latter half of the first and second half, I thought he controlled the game quite well with his tempo. A little bit conservative as previous administrations, but he did try some penetrating passes for the most part, noticeable. But yeah, to me, collectively we were average. When you consider this is a derby, I expected more of us, but I expected it to be fierce. He didn't. I don't know. He's no Pirlo, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think 6.5 again from a 50%, a 7. I'll just give him, I think, a 7. He did a good enough job, but he wasn't perfect. I'm going to end it now. Again, let's just leave it while you talk about. Let's see if this changes. Again, your rating of 4 again, Kovacic.
I thought he did well. I thought he came on. I thought he was an improved. Well, I mean, it was noticeable what he added to the game. His shooting is horrible. Still, it's really subpar for a Premier League player. Let's be honest. That's his biggest deficiency, in my opinion, is for such a technical player and a gifted player. Listen, he comes from a country that is so small in population but produces so many technical players. But for someone so technical, I'm still befuddled why he can't even hit the target most of the time. This is what amazes me. But other than that, he's a very solid and gifted player. From the first moment I saw him play for us on loan, I thought he was a listen. When a big club like Real Madrid wants you, you know you're good. I rate Kovacic. I give him a 7. I didn't. I didn't think he was exceptional or poor, so I'd give him a 7. I think that's pretty much most of the players get that, in my opinion.
Yeah, Rodrigo, what do you think?
Yeah, Kovac, when he came on, he gave us something different, and he was the only one you could see trying to break the line with his passes, and
Yes.
he's one that found Broja for that one-on-one chance, and I think in the second half he did try again once on the edge of the box, but Broja was turning and he couldn't control the ball. So he again, yeah, I agree. I give him I can't give Jorginho a 7 and Kovacic a 7. So if that's the case, then I give Kovacic a 7.5. He was was the better of the two midfielders.
Yeah, I think he's the reason we started playing better in that midfield area.
Yeah. And his dribbling is coming back now. I can see
the way he turns on the ball.
Yeah, the way he turns on the ball. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, but I didn't want him to play. I wanted him to rest.
Yeah, how about Loftus-Cheek for you, Rodrigo?
Loftus-Cheek, he was very reluctant to cross the ball. Or when he did, he couldn't beat the first man. That's so annoying. But again, he was again. I feel like Loftus-Cheek, he's a good player, but when he plays when he plays as a right wing back, he has to be in that Thomas Tuchel inverted right wing back, where he's not your usual wing back. He's more like attacking midfielder. You can't do that when you have Aspie as a right centre back, who's now willing to overlap and yeah. So saying that, I give him Give him a 6.5.
Good luck with the chat supporting you on that. You could say it is my fault. But Roger, how about you for Loftus-Cheek?
Yeah, I thought he was quite good, actually. I would give him a 7. You're right about the dribbling and the lack of penetrating passes or crosses. You're right, that was noticeable. I was expecting more from him in that regard. However, I thought, considering the position he was playing in, I thought he did well. And he brought his physicality and presence and height into the game. I thought, for the most part, I give him a 7. He was solid. Let's put it that way. He was steady Eddie.
I think if he played in midfield, he would have had a bigger impact on this game. I feel like we missed a trick there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But we have to rotate, this is the issue.
Yeah.
We're playing 9 games in 29 days.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the norm.
Yeah, I believe if one of what's his name, Fofana was fit, maybe we would have played. Yeah.
If Reece is healthy and you have Fofana playing, then guess what? We have a rotation with Aspie. We have a rotation with Chalobah. There's rotation. Do you understand? But we're depleted, so it's even harder. You're going from first to second pick. Now you're going from, second to third. That's why. So you have to understand. And the same with Kante, of course. We're missing a huge player there. So that's part of the equation.
Maybe it's time to bring a kid from the academy to actually play as wing back. Dion,
but who?
Dion Rankin.
Is he worthy?
Yeah, that's the
Do you see
question.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it too much? It could have adverse effects in his career, negatively speaking. Do you understand? How
Yeah.
old is he?
It's like 20, I think.
Is he really 20?
Yeah, 19 or 20. Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was younger. Sorry. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look at Chukwuemeka. I mean, he's a fetus, and look at him. He's playing well above his years. He really is. I mean, when I was 20, I was in college.
Rodrigo, just leave me alone. I'm not gonna laugh right now.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe.
Totally.
It's like 6.
I'm not
Stop
gonna go
it.
into that. Really.
Come on,
I'm not
you know
gonna
what
go
I
into
mean.
that. Roger, while I'm still with you, how about
Yes, sir.
Havertz?
Oh,
Ooh. Havertz. Well, that hat trick was outstanding, wasn't it? Yeah. I listen. I'm a huge fan of his. You know I am. I thought he had a very subpar game. He had too many touches. His lack of effectiveness when trying to dribble. Yeah, I don't think he was meant to start this game. He wasn't in it. It looked like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even have his usual production, in my opinion, for the most part.
He was awful, honestly.
Yeah, I would say awful. That's kind of. I don't think he was awful, as in the sense Sterling was the last 3 games, or Cucurella was last week. But I would give him probably a 6, 5.5, or 6. I thought he was one of the worst performances I've seen for him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just be honest, and I'm a huge fan of his. I'm just being honest.
Oh my goodness, somebody's gonna kill me in the chat now.
Why?
It says
What'd you do?
7.4, 7.2. Coach, why are you skimping on us?
Skimping.
I think he understands what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get people to be at least fair, because sometimes if you have a 2, you get get a 2 there. Oh my goodness, Rodrigo.
Let me ask you, Coach. Let me ask you a question. What if you could vote? What would you give Havertz? Be honest. Be objective.
Really? A 5. I have to be honest. He was that poor for me, honestly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I know he can do better than that.
Yes.
I'd give him a 5 without looking back. Yesterday
he has the potential to be an 8, 7.5, 8 every week.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
But do it consistent. And I'm tired of that argument that again, he comes into his own again mid-season. I'm tired of that. I'm not going to go into that again before I turn to people's enemies. Let them prove me wrong, and I'll change. Again, 3 votes or 5.5 shows you he's in that region. But this guy's, they rate him even more. He's quite lucky here. I don't think he deserves anything close to 5.9. You see that? I think everybody knows he was awful. Rodrigo, your thoughts on Havertz yesterday?
Yeah, I think I understood the logic starting Havertz, because when you play Brentford, you need height, you need to defend pieces, you need to be good on corners and so on. But obviously, that's from the starting 11. Yes, fair enough. I didn't have any issue of him starting, but my issue came in when I saw him play, and I was like, wow, this guy is not in at all. There's once he lost the ball. That reminds me of Lampard's era. You know, when Havertz used to lose the ball in dangerous positions, like deep half. I remember one game against Southampton, and Southampton at home, and the Lampard, where he lost the ball near edge of the box, and we we didn't concede, but he led to a very good chance for Southampton. Even yesterday, he did that again. So it's like I don't know if his body language. So maybe he tries hard, but it doesn't show from his body language.
Is he missing Werner?
Sorry? He's missing Werner? I don't know.
Yeah, his close body, really.
Yeah, it could be missing Werner and Rudiger. Maybe. He doesn't have anyone to talk German with. I don't know. These are professional footballers. I think they...
Yeah, but sometimes we must consider the human aspect.
With Mount, I think. I think he has a clique of friends that he has, but it's just...
He does have, he does. Again, he's close to some of them.
It's one of those games it's like he was in sleep mode. He's literally sleepwalking the whole game. He got to a point were playing with literally 10 man. He's doing
So
nothing.
you're basically saying he's tired, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He's literally or maybe he's saving himself for the World Cup. He's freezing himself for the World Cup.
Playing for old Deutsche.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, let me ask you a serious question. Do you think he has a future with Chelsea?
Yes,
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think it does, but again, that future for it to ever come
To
is to
fruition?
start playing him again in a single position consistently. Stop moving him around. We've confused him enough. I know that's going to be an argument most people will not accept. He will forget how young this player is. I think we actually, you can say, scuppered his development to a certain measure by not playing him consistently in one single position. He's there, he's up there, he's down here, it's left, right. But again, that's not an excuse for the type of performance we saw yesterday, really. I have to be honest.
He's only 23. Wow.
Yeah, he's too young. I'm not selling him. I don't agree with.
No, it would be a mistake to sell him, really.
Yeah. So what do you think? A number 10 position behind the number 9, right?
Wherever you choose, just play him consistently there. Because it has, no matter how we see it, once a player changes position, they need to readapt.
And the way I know why he's tired, he's making silly fouls where like pulling a player's player arm, player shoulder, or I was like, "What are you doing?"
He was petulant doing that, wasn't he?
Yeah, because that's breaking momentum. I know, like there's an instance where the ball is in Brentford half, right? There's no way Brentford can score from there. You don't have to commit a foul. You keep committing silly fouls, and then he's just like, you know, when
I remember that specific play you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and there's one time where he receives the ball, and then he does the slowest turn. Even Lukaku turned faster than that. Lukaku was faster than that.
Who was it in the chat that said the veteran's turn?
Yeah.
But you know what though? I'm going to tell you something. He does look slow when he's running, but then you can only tell his true speed when he's running with someone else, like someone trying to catch up with him, and you see their legs really running hard. But he looks like he's gliding. He's very deceptive in that regard.
I think what defines that perception that he glides is his build.
Yes, his elongated stride.
Yeah, that defines that. Again, let's quickly. I don't know if you've spoken about him.
In horses, the accurate vernacular is called a gait. Like in horses, the gait, the stride length. That's what it's actually called, the gate.
Okay. Let me catch up with the chat. I know you haven't rated him. I think, Rodrigo, you've rated him, right? You gave him a 0?
No, he gave him a 7. He gave him a 7.
No. Wait. I give him a 5.
Oh, man.
Okay. Again, how about you, Roger? Have you rated him?
5.5.
Okay, but I think 5.5 it deserves. Again, Fort Mob rates him a 6 point. I think it was 5.9, so to speak. Here we have again Havertz is a 6 for me. Again, he could have won us the game. He got one of the best chances to score, not one of the best. He was. Again, the tapping we were expecting. I don't know. Maybe his leg and the ball were repairing, but it didn't seem like it. It didn't just look like he was. It looks like something was like pushing his leg away from the ball, rather than because it's like the magnetic theory: like poles attract and like poles repel. Unlike poles attract and like poles, repel. I think that was what I saw yesterday because it didn't look like he was going for it. Like, what the heck was that? I couldn't believe it. But that's, by the way, again, Havertz, again, 5.5 is extremely generous. Just go away.
Oh.
Yeah, just go away, really. Coach is giving Havertz a 5, which translates as 4.7. So my rating should always be -3, really. Okay, good work there. His body would mount, at least that's what we believe from what we're seeing, pictures and all that. Clearly today, I'm identifying as a Havertz. Go ahead. You enjoy it. Again, the shot Havertz controlled instead of shoot. I saw him score from that same chance Werner output is definitely missed again in the team. His goal contribution rating was very good, but Werner, you will never see a consistent performance from him in the Premier League because he operates with space, and again, you will never get that all the time in a Premier League game. Havertz, the old age pensioner, scores 0 for being a ghost. Okay, that's nice. Where was Sterling? I see he's the most likely the player to score goals for us. You think so? He's been in awful form. 3 stinkers in a row. He didn't deserve to start that game. The Seoki turn and all that. Yeah, he looks good on the eye and everything. Again, easy to see why he didn't get in the City team. You could argue that again. Why Pep was willing to let him go. If he was that important to them, they'd give him what he's asking for. But Pep probably realized he could do better than Sterling. But again, I still believe he will come good for us. We cannot depend only on Sterling whenever we need a goal. The whole team needs to be scoring again because that would be better for us. That's just the simple truth. But that's, by the way, again, while I'm still with you, Roger, your rating of Mount, for me, I think I'd give him a 6.5. You can say he didn't finish the game because Potter sensed he was a bit tired and had to rest him. But during the time he was on the pitch, he still, we still saw that industry. Not his best performances, but he did well enough to earn a 6 for me. But what do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, a 6, 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been rested. You're completely right. Pulisic could have played in his position or wherever. Yeah, and I think he was taken off bearing in mind that we're playing United Saturday. It's quite obvious. It's just not. You can't expect someone to play this many games consecutively in this many minutes. It's not acceptable. So a lot of it you can't blame on him because of his legs. But he's young, but nevertheless, he also played an exceptionally high amount of minutes last season. So I see him giving a 6, 6.5. I didn't notice he wasn't that creative. He wasn't.
Yeah, but how long did they start?
I'd have to check.
So overall, you could say it wasn't his best of games, but again, he wasn't the worst.
No, he wasn't the best. He wasn't the worst. He was average. Who knows? Does he start versus United? Probably, but
probably he started.
Oh, most likely.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, yeah, he is usually, for outfielders, the first person on the sheet, it seems. In fact, Potter alluded to that yesterday's pre-match interview, when he spoke about him. He was standing right next to Thomas Frank. It was quite interesting, that conversation. But I don't know. You're right, Coach. It could be to his detriment starting too many consecutive games. You're really right about that. And it showed last night. 6.5.
Yeah, again, I'd give him 6.5 too, but let's see what the chat does. If I had the 5 there, I believe me, some people will still rate him 5, but I think he deserves more. It wasn't down to him.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, not the best, not the worst on the day.
Yeah.
But that's by the way. Your thoughts, Rodrigo? How would you rate him?
Yeah, I rate him same as Cucurella, like as in what they didn't do anything particularly bad or anything really great. They were just there. So yeah, I think it was like I think 6.5 is a good it's good for Mount. It was what
fair.
did he do? It's fair, yeah. What did he do? Didn't I don't remember him doing anything, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, nothing much. Probably, like I said, maybe Potter sensed it too that he was tired and had to take him off
the ball. Maybe did some off the ball work because sometimes you don't see them when you watch
the
game.
He always does.
Yeah, because when you watch the game on TV, you don't see the off the ball run some of the players do.
Him, Kante, and Conor Gallagher, and even Kai, their production when we don't have the ball is prolific. The work rate is very Liverpool-esque, if you
Yes.
will. You know, so this is why critics will say, well, any footballer should run, but they don't.
They don't.
Many players don't. Look
Don't
at
have
Hazard, one of our greatest ever legends that's ever played for the club. Never tracked back. If it wasn't for Kanté, you could tell when Chelsea played without Kanté and Hazard was on the pitch, we were so weak because we were playing with 10 men, basically. And I love Hazard, don't get me wrong. And it's the same. It's like the production of those aforementioned players, it's quite prolific. So yeah, I rate him what he does when we don't have the ball. Same with Kai, same with Connor. Connor is amazing. If you notice, every minute he's been on the pitch, what he does, as soon as he steps on, it's wow, he looks so energized.
He has like leadership. Remember, if you notice in the Villa game, he kept telling Sterling to press. Like
who are you referring to? You've Connor?
No, Mount.
Yeah.
He has that leadership and commitment, to be a legend. Go ahead.
Could read the game in the Villa game. You could see that the right wing back position was really weak, and you could see him every time pushing people. Like, you need to come on, you need to press. But yesterday again, I think he's played every single minute. Oh, no, not minute, but he started every game under Potter. So he's just tired.
Actually, Potter mentioned more than anything multiple times about his game intelligence, his football intelligence. He said working with him, he's a very intelligent person.
He is really, again, but unfortunately, and I'm going to say that again, I've said it a million times, Chelsea fans, they don't look beyond his industry. They just judge him by his industry.
Did you notice what Potter, was it 2 days ago, when he mentioned, I think he wasn't even prompted for it, but he did bring it up where he can't believe how some people view him through other lenses. In other words, he's a divisive player, and he was sticking up for him, saying, "I don't understand why." Did you notice that?
Yeah, I think it's lack of proper knowledge of how football works. That's by the way. Yeah, go ahead, Rodrigo. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I want to say, have you noticed the area that Mount is picking up the ball from? That reminds me of Mount in 2021 under Tuchel, when Tuchel just came in. I don't know what Tuchel changed last season, because Mount was
deeper.
Yeah, he wasn't picking up the ball in between from the 2 6s and drive. I don't know why Tuchel changed last season.
Probably the preference of having him pressing further forward was what led to that. What we started seeing under Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, because I've seen these performances, like especially like the Villa game, or even the Wolves game. Those type of performances, I've seen them under Tuchel when Tuchel came in. The not new. It's not like Mount is completely different. No, I saw these in 2021, but for some reason last season, although he had more output in terms of goals and assists, but I feel like Mount's best season so far was when we won the Champions League. The way he was playing in that season was crazy, especially that run to win the Champions League.
Yeah, again, Kachila Kai must not start against Manchester United. Saturday, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I don't see that happening. If it happens, I'd be surprised. We'll have better players who could start that game and do better than Kai at this moment. He needs to sort out himself before he comes on again. But I would not be surprised if he comes on, because there are other stuff that he offers to the team that the managers like. And I don't want to get into that argument right now. That pass from Mason was on target. Okay, which one exactly? I don't remember. Again, a brief. Juliet, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, and welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, again, if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We haven't said Mount is a bad player. He just looked tired, needed some rest, because we're going to need him against Manchester United. We cannot afford another crucial player being injured. What is Potter doing? I am worried about Mount. I'm worried too. Again, and we need him to start in the match against United. Hopefully, he does again start, because he will be tired. I think he will start. He has a few days now. How many days before Saturday? Again, Friday. Oh, what day was that? Is that game Saturday?
Yeah, it is Saturday.
So he probably needs to rest, not even play video games, just go to bed whenever necessary.
30 hours local.
Wow. It's going to be really, 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 really difficult to find a solution to that. So your thoughts, a Broja rating for you. Let's round off that one. To me, again, I'd really rate him again a bit high. Again, what we saw was something that's common with inexperienced players, but he did well. Again, your thoughts overall on Broja.
7.5. I thought his industry was good. His application was good. Yeah, did he lack a little bit of foresight and a little bit of chemistry? Not seeing the pass once or twice, but he created a beautiful pass across the goal line. I mean, just needed a little toe on that. So I thought he played very well. Let's put it this way: he didn't hurt his reputation or his chances of starting again. I would give him a 7.5 minimum. I thought he did well. You know, he's going. I think his potential is unfolding before our eyes. I'm not being bombastic in that. I'm being honest. I see him as so much potential. He's going to be a star for us.
Yeah, I really do believe he deserves a 7. That's 4 votes. 75% thinks he deserves a 7. He deserves a 7. Yes. Again, we saw some poor decision making there, which is down to his age, inexperience. That comes with time. I think he gets better. He will get better at it. Again, we've always called for the manager to give him a chance, and we're going to see those things, but less and less of those. Again, those poor decision making. The more he plays, it takes experience for him to overcome. It will take experience, again, time for him to overcome those poor decision making. But that's by the way. And in the case of where we're saying he should have stayed down, had he stayed down, yes, again, and the Brentford player may end up getting a red card, but then again, it's outside the box, wasn't it? It's not like it's going to be a penalty. So it was actually a good decision for him to still stood up again, try to go score, because it would have been much more difficult for us to score, even if they end up going one man down. But I think he made the right decision to start up on that occasion. I believe Kai, again, should not start. Also, Pulisic should be given a chance. He's been playing good. Again, I don't know what he's going to do for the manager to really reward his performance, unfortunately. 7 for Broja, 5 votes. I think he gets a 7. I don't think we have time enough to always, accommodate those in the chat for the ratings of Sterling. Your thoughts, again, Roger, for Sterling. What do you think he deserves?
Yeah, well, what minute did he come on? Let me have a look.
Sterling came on the let me see, where do I see that?
Yeah,
Raheem Sterling came in the 62nd minute, so he played nearly 30 minutes.
Wow, did he really play that long? I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, so
okay,
go
ahead. I thought he played better last night than he did.
Yeah, he looked like he's not tired anymore. He played well.
Yes, but then you have to put into that equation that his opponents have been on the field an hour extra, longer. So there is that to come into the equation. But yeah, I thought he looked better than his previous 3 or 4 games. So I'd give him a 6.5. He didn't really have long to really do much. What was his dribbling? What was his success rate in dribbling?
He did better yesterday. Let's look at it quickly. Let's look at it if that's important to you.
Yeah,
but I don't think we'll be able to see his.
I didn't notice his speed.
Maybe we should be able to see it. Let's see if it was rated. Yeah, he is. Again, 28 minutes played. Yeah, again, accurate passes, 20 out of 25. Some of them are just safer passes. Chances created, 2 chances. Expected goals 0.11. Expected assists 0.04. Blocked shots 1. Yeah, that was one defensive contribution that was just brilliant. That the Brentford player dived, thinking he was going to get a foul. It was a good defensive work from Sterling. Touches 31. Passes into the final third 1. Again, accurate crosses 0 out of 2 attempts. Accurate long balls 0 out of 1 attempt. Corners 2. Dispossessed 0 times. Tackles 1 over 1. Probably that one I talked about. Recoveries 4. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 2. Was fouled 1 time. I think, you can say give it to him. But let's see. Yeah,
I'd say 6.5 to 7. I
Yeah,
thought
he deserves at least for me. I give him a 6. Let's see again. Don't matter when he came on. He didn't do anything positive either. I think he did. He did. Again, let me just get those in the chat. Let's get their opinion. I think he did fairly well. But go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I thought I pretty much surmised that. He did better than I expected, and I was quite pleased with his production. I'm glad that he wasn't dispossessed, because that's been a big thing for him lately. And he looked sharper, faster. It was noticeable, the improvement, was it not?
Yeah, he looked much more, but probably because he was rested. But yeah, I get people's frustration with him. I think he did fairly good enough, especially that defensive work there, because they would have been on us. But let me give those in the chat a chance to vote to see what they think about his rating. Again, let's go back to, again, where do I have him? Who did Sterling come was on? Was it Broja? No. Yeah, he was under Broja, right? It was here. Yeah. So let me wait once they're done. We'll rate them. Let's see what those there think. How about Chukwuemeka? Chukwuemeka, for me, he gets, again, a 6.5 because he didn't play long. But wow, boy, he did quite well. He made a huge difference, if you ask me.
Ditto.
Totally. Let's see go ahead. Let's see if we'll find anything here about him. But go ahead.
I totally agree. He was a difference maker. From the first moment he stepped on the field with that long stride, you know, it was noticeable. I mean, Ray Charles could see that, you know. Sorry.
Total shots 1, accurate passes 11 out of 14, 79%. That's not bad. Clearances, chances created 1. Expected goals 0.09, 0.07. Expected goals on target. Expected assist 0.01. Again, shot accuracy 1 out of 1. Touches 19. Successful dribbles 0 out of 1 attempt. Passes into the final third 2. Recoveries 2. Ground duels 1 out of 2. Again, given the time he came on, I think he did quite well. And 6.6 isn't a bad rating. But for Sterling, let's see again, a 5 from 75% of the votes, and that's four votes. So yeah, I think they win. Let's see what we have here. Really, I'll ask the chat about Chukwuemeka. Really, again, what we have here again, don't matter. Yep, it says. Again, do you think Chukwuemeka is good enough to start against Man City? I think he's good. He's good enough. He did the little time he played. He did better than most people on the pitch. I'm going to take the handline on these attackers from now on. I'm fed up of backing them, and I get let down. I don't blame you. Chukwuemeka is a future starter. Aston Villa was dumb. It's business. They weren't dumb. He wanted to leave, and sometimes you can't just keep him. Seriously, how is Kai Havertz starting all these games? I'm not going to get into that argument. I think I understand why I think he manages to start him all the time, but I'm not going to get into that argument right now. Chukwuemeka should play alongside Mount and Kovacic again next time. I think he would do better than most people. Yeah, people think Sterling gets a 5, probably judging him off of many other performances. So let me go back to Sterling first. Yeah. He gets a 5 again, but I think he deserves better, and I'm not going to override it. For you said what rating for Chukwuemeka?
I think a 7.5.
Yeah, I think he should get such again at least 6.5, but they gave him less. And the stats says he deserves around 6.5. But let's see again. A 7.
He was one of the standout. To me, he was one of the standout players, in my opinion. Even though he played for 13 minutes, give or take, I really thought he was. So let me ask you a question. In the future, I understand depending on formation, but where does he start?
I think he can.
He's not holding 6, is he?
No, I think if we tried not even a hold, not even a hybrid 6.
Yeah,
but I think he has the energy to fulfill the hybrid 6 role because he can run. But I think we're better off deploying him closer to the final third because he has an eye for goal. And I don't know how much of a creator he is. I have to watch him more to get well acquainted to his creating ability. But I think he gets you a goal, really, if he gets a chance. Let me see. For Chukwuemeka, again, how many votes? 3 votes, thinks he gets a 7. But let's do Pulisic. To me, I'll just give Pulisic, I think he deserves a 7.5, even though he didn't play that long. What do you think?
I think it's 7.5. I'm being honest. I thought he was one of our standout players by far.
One of the people that changed the game for us. But it's only fair if he gets 7.5. I think Kovacic deserves 7.5 too.
Really? That's okay. Yeah. I mean, he was steady Eddie to me. But we're talking half a point. But yeah, I get it. I value Kova a lot. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, but he did a very good job yesterday. 7.5 for Chukwuemeka. I think he deserves something around that number. He did quite well. Chukwuemeka and Pulisic came in and showed they needed to be playing honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. You were saying something.
I think. Listen, I'm quite a big critic of Sterling, but I think that Sterling grade of 5 is a bit harsh. I really do.
But I think it's a bit harsh, but again, I think usually people don't move on easily from poor performances from players.
Yeah, no, I get it, but we're talking about one specific game, not a myriad. But yeah,
but I think if you look at it really, if we're being honest, I think his numbers showed he deserved that something. He don't deserve a high rating, but not really 5.5. Not really. What number again? Not really a 5, but again,
not a 5. But
not a 5 though.
If you look at it, we've got basically Chukwuemeka, Connor, Mount. We've got so many number 8s. We have an abundance of one specific type of role. Have you not noticed that?
Yeah, I get you, and that's just the truth. Your rating quickly for Aubameyang, so we can call it a day. Again, Chukwuemeka gets a 7. Most people 67% out of in a 6 votes. I think he makes sense. Quickly again, I've read that one again. It says, please, someone again, get something out of Pulisic before he leaves in January. He's as good as gone. I think he'll be gone if the pattern continues like this. If Chukwuemeka has started, we would have scored. Again, I don't doubt that really. Again, got to go now. All right, thank you so much, Queen of the House. Thank you for finding the time to join to keep things civil here. I cannot thank you enough. Bye again. I say it again. Bye, Liam. Again, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Chukwuemeka is better than Mount. I am seriously not going to get into that argument right now. Just leave me alone, please. That's why I believe that Chukwuemeka should have been given a chance in the game against Milan. That game, again, would help to build his confidence more in the games, almost better chemistry with the team. Again, have a good day. Yes, enjoy yourself. So one more rating of Aubameyang for you. Your thoughts on Aubameyang so we can rate him and call it a day.
Well, he came on rather late, like the 81st minute. So that's kind of hard to judge someone that had such a small role. But he looked better than his normal self.
He looked looked rested, if you ask me.
To me, he should be a super sub, from what I can see. If he doesn't have the legs to press, because of our midfield, he should come on the average in the 60th minute, or play only 60 minutes if he starts. I'd give him a 6.5. But he did look much fresher than previous games. But that's a very small sampling rate to judge him, to be honest with you. It's a bit unfair.
Yeah, I think I'd give him, again, a 6.
But but you know what, though? Every time I do see him on the pitch, the fact that he is so clinical, probably our most clinical forward, let's be honest here, that I am positive that when given the opportunity, more often than not, he will at least test the keeper, if not score. That's the one thing I like about him on the pitch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he does. It does, really. Again, Aubameyang 6.5. I think 6.5, he showed, the difference, what the difference he can make. He created a chance for himself by himself and took a shot. But unfortunately for him, he was at an angle that the goalkeeper covered very well, so he didn't get to score. So I'll just give him a 6.5. I won't call it a day. And for, again, I'm not going to say let's rate him. For Potter himself, I think he's starting, again, I wouldn't blame anybody to jump to the conclusion that it doesn't look like he rewards performance. It doesn't look so at all. Again, but that's by the way. Anything you want to say about Potter, so we can call it a day, Roger?
Yeah, so we should grade. I also believe we should grade the coach each and every game.
Mm-hmm.
Potter. I thought he shouldn't have. I thought he should have started Pulisic. For me,
Yeah, and on 2 occasions now. He started players we didn't expect him to start. Players that were poor in the previous game. Go ahead.
Yeah, based on form, right? I was disappointed that. I was disappointed that Mount started. To be honest with you, I was disappointed.
Starting Mount was a risk.
Yes, because of what's
unnecessary risk.
Yes, because we had Connor. Connor could have taken his place. Yes, he's sick, but if you notice, Ziyech isn't in the equation. Have you noticed that?
It doesn't look like again. I think
for a game like this, you would have thought he would have played Ziyech. I'm glad he didn't. Don't get me wrong, but was he even on the bench? Let me check. Ziyech was on the bench, and so was Zakaria. What? Wow. What is Zakaria? The emergency goalkeeper? I mean, I don't even know why he's on the bench if he's not going to at least be involved for a minute or two. But yeah, so I would give him like a 7. I don't know. Did you think he got the formation right?
I don't really have. Again, I think with the personnel he had on the pitch, I think not wrong. No, I think the structure was never the issue. I think the issue. I'm not sure. I think the players, the personnel overall, which you could say centrally. Again, Jorginho and Kovacic didn't play badly, but they didn't do enough to protect the defense.
Well, don't forget though. I thought he got it wrong with just leaving Jorginho as the single 6. You know, he doesn't fit that role. So
yeah,
maybe he wanted to have more a Fabregas-esque type of role there, but I don't think he suited to that. I thought Potter didn't have. I don't know, but I'm glad that he put on Chukwuemeka so early. I was pleased about that. I really was. I would give him a 7. I would give Potter a 7. You know, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm hoping he's our future coach for many, many years. You know, and he's learning and he's growing. Don't forget, and he's getting to know the players and the entire squad. So we should be somewhat lenient on him. But he didn't do too much wrong. But he also, I thought, could have done certain things differently. That's all. But that's hindsight. I'm playing, armchair quarterback here.
Yeah, again, thank you very much for taking the time so that I cannot thank you enough. With that, we've come to the end of the show, and I want to say a special thank you to, again, Roger, again, for staying throughout the show. If it wasn't for him, it'd be me alone, again, and I think it's enjoyable when you have multiple, again, opinions are coming in. Again, thank you to Rodrigo, who stayed as much as he can. Again, Pulisic, Chukwuemeka should have started. Ziyech is like Lukaku to us now. I'm not going to get into that argument. Dennis is being treated horribly. Honestly, you can't say he's being treated horribly, given the fact that, again, he had to leave Juventus on loan in the first place, which means he wasn't doing that well. And until he plays, that's when you can draw the conclusions whether he's been treated fairly or not, whether he should have been started. It's going to take an act of Congress to see Alba, Stalin, and Pulisic start a match. He's learning, but we definitely need, again, 3 points versus whack Brentford. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. Roger, I cannot thank you enough. It's been a brilliant show overall. Thank you to Coach Chris. Thank you to Jampos Entertainment. Thank you to Liam Lane, the captain of the house. Thank you to Just Viola, Liam Lane. I cannot thank you guys enough. And thank you to every other person that found the time to join the show. Thank you to the beautiful game, my brother. Again, I cannot thank you enough. It's been a brilliant show so far. Very enjoyable, truthful, again, funny at the same time, factual maybe. Again, I hope to see you guys next time for another Blue Morning show. Thank you, guys. God bless us all. See you guys next time, and Bye.